I think. I guess it's all right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's do this shit again. Adjust my thingy here. All right. Correct. The world would be better off. Hi, Zach. Hello. Good morning. What up? Hello. What's going on, y'all? I think my stuff is in order. Okay. Anyway. All right. Well, let's do this shit again. Welcome in. Welcome back. Welcome to. Welcome through the kingdom of the ape, the apostate ape. That's me. And this is the channel where you can watch an undereducated hick from Alabama perform an intellectual takedown of the Christian faith, doctrine, and logic for your entertainment. But also, and more importantly, hopefully, to make the world a better place by combating the ridiculous rise of this ridiculous Christian nationalism, which is basically a bunch of Christians with a bunch of power and a bunch of money who think they have a divine right to make other people's lives miserable. And we on the right side of history will not stand for these atrocities. For them trying to bring back institutions like slavery and manifesting destiny, which basically means conquering people, which is an affront to humanity that we will not stand for here on the right side of history. So that's why we're here, and that's why we do this. It's activism. So, yeah. Kind of, hey, Jack, what's up, dog? Yeah, I'm in a little better mood today. I think I realized I kind of go through like cycles, I guess, in my head. And what I mean by that is, it builds up on me, like listening to these crazy folks all day, every day. And it makes me kind of bitter. And then I'll like come to the point over and over again where it's like, oh crap, I forgot why I was doing this. I gotta calm back down. So I reset, and then the bitterness builds back up. And we go in this vicious, endless cycle of mental torment for the ape. That's alright though. We got shit to do out up in here. So that's alright. Anyway. I hear you, Jack. You got to, man. You got to. Shit. They crazy out here. Western civilization was formed by Christian philosophy. Wow. Imagine being that skewed in history. Anyway. There's an ocean of lives going right now, so I have no idea what kind of engagement we'll get. I'm over an hour later than usual, but I am here, and we're going to roll on, I don't know, a couple hours, I guess. So, maybe we'll do that. Anyway, hopefully we'll have a good stream. Yesterday was good. A bit of a headache, but yeah. But like I said, I don't know. There's a bunch of other big shows going today. A bunch of big shows are going to be coming on in a minute. So I guess we'll see. Nora, thank you. I appreciate that. What is up, everybody? Good morning. Hello. Good morrow. The morn has come. Augustine of Hippo is the dude that I remember saying, Augustine, he was the one that said, beating your slaves is an act of love. You beat slaves with love, which is kind of what the Bible represents, so he wasn't totally wrong there, but that's what I personally remember saying Augustine for. Slave beating is love. That's love in the Christian mind. There's just some Christian philosophy, whoever that was earlier. Christian philosophy 101. Beating your slaves and your children is love. It's Christianity for you. They did intend for the separation of church and state, so correct. Alright, well, we are just getting started. Barely 4 minutes into the live. So, if you would like to discuss the prompt and you're a Christian, then we are ready for guests. And yeah, the reason I say America would be better off without Christianity, for starters, because Christianity isn't true. So voting your country based on ridiculous doctrines just can't be good. Not to mention, there's a whole bunch of Christians right now trying to conquer people and bring back fucking slavery and shit. That's right. Slavery. The slavery. 30 Kev. That's so friendly, I think. We can try him. Hey, Kevin, you there?
Yes.
Hey, what's up, man? Were you a Christian?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, okay. So you wanted to come up on purpose then, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, cool, man. For some reason, I was thinking you might be somebody else or something. I don't know. But anyway, what do you want to talk about when it comes to the prompt here?
Yesterday I listened to you and I was trying to request us to go on, but it was a little bit late and I was also working. But you were talking about chattel slavery and, basically people being owned, people being owned as property, correct?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me see. So do you believe that, like, today in the United States, there is chattel slavery?
No.
No? Okay. And
No, it's illegal. They
not,
made it constitutionally illegal here.
and it's okay. So because you always talk about chattel slavery, so and you said specifically said the definition is to own people. And then I looked up. I was wanting to get the specific of property, so I actually searched it up. Let me see if I could pull it up.
What do you mean, the definition of chattel?
No. Yeah, because you explained it, and I was like, okay, if we're getting
Here it is
to
right here from Merriam-Webster. Chattel is a movable article of personal property. A human being considered to be property. An enslaved person. It's the lawful definition right there.
yeah, and then I looked up the word property, and it says as well, uh, one who is also under contract, who work is valuable or especially then that's also from the Merriam-Webster uh, dictionary. So that means if you're under contract, then you're technically somebody's property. So meaning that today,
Well,
by definition,
if you're a
today
chattel
day and
slave,
age.
you're not technically somebody's property. You're literally somebody's property. So that's what we're dealing with.
But yeah, by definition, you're still today day and age. Again, if you're under contract, again, if back then, if you were working off a debt, just like in the Bible says, if you're in debt, you work it off for 6 years, and that's a contract.
In Leviticus 25, it actually forbids debt slavery, but permits chattel slavery. So we're not talking about the same thing still.
Could you say that again?
Yeah, in verse 39 of Leviticus 25, it forbids debt slavery and it permits chattel slavery in verse 44. So it's actually, that's not what we're talking about either here. It forbids
Okay,
that.
so slaves are not allowed to. It forbids it. You said Leviticus 39.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in verse 39, here I'll read it real quick. It says, if your kin under you continue in straits and must be given over to you, do not subject them to the treatment of slaves. So it's saying you can't make them serve as a slave. It says, remaining with you as a hired or bound laborer, they shall serve only until the year of Jubilee. So that's saying you can't make them serve as a slave. They have to stay with you as a hired or bound laborer. In Hebrew, that's a word called sakir. That means you're just an employee, basically.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting You said Leviticus 9 or Leviticus
Leviticus chapter 25, and you can
25?
start reading in verse 39.
Gotcha.
39 through 46 is the. where it forbids debt slavery and permits chattel slavery.
If your brother becomes poor besides you and sells himself to you, you should not make him serve as a slave. He should be with you as a hired worker or as a sojourner. He shall serve with you until the year of Jubilee, then shall go out from you, he and his children with him, and go back to his own clan and return in the possession of his fathers. So yeah, and you said all the way up to 43?
40. It goes to 46.
Oh, okay. For they are my servants whom I brought out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as slaves. You should not rule over him ruthlessly, but shall fear your God. As for your male and female slaves, whom you may have, you may buy male and female slave from among the nations that are around you. You may also buy from among the strangers who sojourn with you and their clan that are with you, who have been born in your land, and they may be your property. You may bequeath them to your sons after you inherit them as a possession forever. You may make slaves of them, but over your brothers and people of Israel you should not rule one over another ruthlessly.
Yep. So that's basically a rundown of the chapter there. It's saying if another Israelite tries to sell themselves to you, you can't make them serve as a slave. But it's saying if you want slaves, you just get them from the nations around you and from the foreigners residing with you. And they can be your property you can keep for life, and you can treat them like slaves. You just can't treat your brethren like that.
Also, if I know there's I haven't wrote it down, but I know that if a slave runs away, then technically they're free.
So that's in Deuteronomy 21, and that's dealing with the enemy's slaves. It's saying don't return slaves to enemies when you're besieging them. Is what that's about.
So meaning that if you're getting treated badly or bad enough, then again you could run away and they won't again return you. Which
that's if they're your enemy's slaves. If it's your brethren's slaves, you have to return
them. Where does it say that if it's your brother's slave, return them? Does it say that?
It says that's where they're talking about being encamped against your enemies.
Because I remember reading it, but I didn't write it down because I knew I was going to bring it up. But I know that if you run away again, so being a slave again, because you're supposed to treat your slave with respect as well, and again, the master is supposed to treat their slaves without like fear and threatening them, and slaves are also must obey their masters. So again, so it's a mutual thing that just like how
but don't you understand? It's not saying don't own slaves. It's saying to obey your masters. It's telling slaves to be a slave. It's saying to be a good slave. This is not condemning slavery in any sort of the word.
Okay, but according to the definition of property, owning somebody as property, we have slaves today.
No, we don't. Who owns anybody as property in this country as legal property that you can take somebody to court and sue them over your property that they've took or damaged? Does that exist?
Okay, if you say, oh, they damaged my property, no, because again, they're still a human being.
Well, you can't own another human as property in this country. It's illegal. It's written into the Constitution.
Yes. So you can't own people as property, but again, under definition, again, it still exists today. Again, if you like football, basketball, we
fought a war to end this, right? Literally the bloodiest war in this country's history was fought over slavery, to end slavery. But you're saying we fought a war, the worst one in history, to end slavery, but we still just go ahead and do it.
Okay, but by definition of property, owning somebody as property, it's being under contract. So again, football players, basketball players, they're under contract.
You don't get to beat anybody in this country
I'm not saying that they could be beaten, but they could be punished in other
That's
ways.
biblical law. You own them as property that you can beat.
Okay, but we could again only because they don't beat them and punish them in other ways. Does that make it right? Only because they don't beat them and then say, oh, instead of you me beating
What
you,
makes
I'm gonna make
slavery
you.
right in the Bible? What makes this good slavery?
No, I'm not saying that. Again, you're by definition because you're basically saying technicalities on owning people as property that
It's
exists
not a
today.
technicality. That's a literal definition.
Yeah, and that's the definition that I read to you of property. So the same thing. You're saying as chattel slavery. I'm like, oh, is being owned owning people as property. I looked up the
Yeah,
word property.
you are owned as property. You are passed on to your children as inherited property, a human
Oh,
being that you
and if
can
there's
beat, you can fuck, you can sell.
okay, so if I'm not saying that everything exactly that happened back then is happening now, but it's like a version of it, then
No, it's not.
again, it's not a problem if a coach tells his player to run 100 laps and
You're comparing a
to
coach telling somebody to run laps to slavery in the
yes,
South?
again, that's a form of
Well, this is
punishment.
just disgusting, man. This is
You're
You really
talking
need to
about punishment.
reconsider what you're talking about here. Trying to
You're
compare
talking
coaches and athletes to fucking slaves in the South, man. This is
I'm talking
disgusting.
about
That's why I
punishment.
go through
All I'm
cycles like this. Y'all can drive me crazy.
because I'm talking about punishment. Punishment back then is
Uh,
obviously being your slave, and then punishment now. Again, if that
it's running
player
laps, right? Yeah.
passes out and dies, and then there's a problem.
I, I gotta say, I don't even know what you're talking about, man. This is
A
just
form of
ridiculous.
punishment. A coach could tell a player, "Hey, run 100 laps," and
How
if that
the fact that y'all even try to compare slavery to a coach making somebody run laps is utterly ridiculous. I mean, it's just disgusting, honestly. That's why
well,
I'm
I'm just
saying you
talking
really
about
need
a
to
form of
reconsider
punishment.
what you're saying here today.
I told you the true definition of property, which is again
No,
under
you told
by
me a
definition.
technical definition of property, and I showed you the literal definition. Movable property, human beings owned as property that you can beat, that you can sell, that you can fuck and pass on to your
So
children as
property.
property.
Okay,
Other
okay,
human
but
beings that you must
no, we're
force to
talking.
do your will.
Okay, but you don't do that with actual property. You don't fuck property. You don't
Yes,
fuck
you do.
sell.
A human being is property.
Okay, but no, we're talking about property here. So yes, a
A
person
human
can
being
be.
as property. Yes.
Okay, if we're talking about human being as property, I just read you the definition. That is somebody under contract.
Oh
So
my God, I'm
again,
done. I'm done talking to you, man. You really need to consider what you're saying here because this is just utterly disgusting that you're trying to push this way, and the fact that you just refuse to say the fucking reason of what you're saying, twisting definitions, twisting what property is, twisting human being interaction, twisting reality to try to fit a softer narrative. It's gross, man. It's just fucking gross. All right, let's try the next one here. You know it's a fucking Christian acting like a damn football team owns you if you sign a contract. Y'all are really fucking disgusting. Like, you really are. This is fucking gross, man. I mean, only Christians downplay atrocities so willy nilly and so casually. Only Christians downplay evil so hard to try to make it look like some kind of form of love is just makes me want to fucking puke all over this fucking place. It's gross, man. Y'all are disgusting.
Yeah, hello.
You there?
Yeah, I'm
Hello?
here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, what's up, man? You're a Christian, right?
Yeah, I'm just curious what the argument for the prompt is.
I just think America'd be better off without Christianity.
I know that's
They're
a
trying
restatement of
to,
the position, but why is that?
yeah, yeah, because they're pro-slavery. They're trying to bring back slavery, conquering people. They're trying to tear down the Constitution and ruin other people's freedom in a free country. So that's my argument.
Okay, why is that morally bad?
Oh my fucking god! Why is it
Why can't
morally
you answer the
bad to
fucking
tear
question? Yeah,
down
why is it
people's
morally bad?
freedom in a free country? Why is it bad to take people's freedom?
Yeah,
Why is
why
that
do we
immoral?
do that? We do it all the fucking
Because
time,
you're
dude. Why is it morally
because you're
bad?
taking because you're taking somebody else's fucking freedom. That's why.
Okay, you take people's freedom away to rape when you put them in prison. Is that morally bad? Is it morally bad?
Y'all motherfuckers really are a joke. I mean, I'm telling you, this is fucking ridiculous. Why is it? Leave it to a Christians. Need to explain to them why slavery's bad. Like, what the fuck, man? Hey, no guest either.
Hello, man.
Hey, what's up, buddy? You a Christian?
Yes.
Cool, cool. So, what you want to talk about on the prop there?
So, what would be the solution? Like no religion?
What? Yeah, yeah. Secular, reason-based government and logic.
So, let's just think about what the lefties have brought, right? Unaliving themselves.
We're talking about Christianity in America.
I know what we're talking about, right? Christianity is against all these
This
things.
don't have nothing to do with left versus right. We're talking about
Well, no, I'm just gonna.
Christianity.
Well, usually liberals aren't Christian or more conservative, right? This is has
There's
everything to
tons
do.
of liberal Christians. The fact that
Well,
the
I'm
right
sure
thinks
there's
they own
tons of
Christianity just
progressive
goes to show you
Christians.
how whacked out they are in their mind.
Okay, am I allowed to
But yeah,
finish
go ahead.
Am I allowed to?
Maybe go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
right. So why they are more conservative is right because the unaliving themselves, homosexuality,
Oh my
abortion.
fucking God.
Yeah, I mean, I can keep going, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Did you say abortion? Christians are against abortion?
yes,
Well,
clearly.
that's weird. Y'all worship a god that bashes babies' brains out on the fucking regular. That
You're
rips
talking about Psalms.
wide open and puts them to the sword. Yeah.
You're talking about Psalms, and that's not a anyway. So
Huh?
yeah, you're talking about Psalms, right? And I'm sure you read it out of
No.
context. I'm sure you don't understand what they're
Oh, okay.
saying. You're reading a
Well, let's go
summary.
read it in.
of
Let's
what's
go read
actually
it in
being said,
context
right?
and say what your God does to babies.
Right. So this is what Christianity has
Whoever is
actually.
found will be thrust through, and whoever is caught
Yeah.
will fall by the sword. Their infants will be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be plundered, and their wives raped. See, I am
Yeah.
stirring up the Medes against
Yeah.
them, who have no
Mhm.
regard for silver, and do not
And
delight
you
in
think
gold.
that's a literal
Their
statement?
bows will slaughter the young men. They will have no mercy on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes will not pity children.
Yep.
In Babylon, the glory of
Yep.
the kingdoms and the splendor and the pride of Chaldeans shall be like Sodom and Gomorrah when God overthrew them. Yes, that was literal, and yes, that happened.
That's a literal statement in Psalms.
Yeah, that's called a
Or
proclamation
no, that's
against
explaining
a nation, and
no,
God makes
that's
a whole bunch of
explaining.
these in the Bible,
That's
and a whole bunch of
explaining.
babies get their brains bashed
That's
out.
explaining a natural right result
No.
of war because it's
What's
during
Isaiah
David's
13
reign.
about?
Because this is during David's reign, right?
Nope.
Get Psalms.
Nope. You don't even know what's being read to you.
Oh my God! Who wrote Psalms? Who traditionally?
I've said
wrote
3
Psalms?
times what I just read, and apparently you're hard of hearing. What did I say I read?
Yeah, you read Psalms.
No, I didn't. I've said it 3 times what I actually read.
What did you read?
Isaiah 13. I asked you what Isaiah 13 was about, and you said this is in David's lifetime, and it's technically about the same thing the Psalm's about. It's about the destruction of Babylon.
Yeah, so if you read a few verses below, it says, "As David has said," idiot. So it comes from Psalms.
Where does it say David in Isaiah 13? Idiot.
Hold on. 13:1, right?
Isaiah chapter 13.
The oracle concerning Babylon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was king during?
Was David alive in?
Yes.
Was David alive in the lifetime of Cyrus the Great?
Yes.
Idiot.
So hold on.
Hello. When was Babylon destroyed?
This is repeating. Hold on. Wait.
Oh, you need a second to figure out what you was talking about? Yeah, here.
No, you need to get the
Go ahead,
exact thing in prompt
Yeah,
Psalms.
you do. You sure do. I don't know why you're still looking at Psalms, but
Because prophets
I
repeat
told you what
themselves.
chapter I'm in 4 times now. So
Because prophets repeat themselves, right? And this is actually what Isaiah was mocked for in Isaiah 28, right?
he was mocked for the destruction of Babylon.
No, he was mocked for repeating what the other prophets have said before.
What?
Yeah, I forgot. The Jews, his brothers were
Yeah,
mocking.
anyway, how many babies get their brains bashed out in the destruction of Babylon? How many women get raped? How many pregnant women get put to the sword on God's command?
A precept. That's what it. Okay, precept. Yeah. So in Isaiah 28 it says this is a precept upon a precept upon a precept. That's Isaiah 28:10 when he was mocked. Because
Do you know what chapter I'm in?
you're in 13. Yeah, Isaiah is
All
a
right,
book.
maybe read from that chapter.
Yeah. So the immediate context would go into 28 where he's being mocked.
Oh my fucking God. I don't know if you're
Says
just
for
like
precept must
willfully
be upon
refusing to
precept,
address the
precept
damn
upon
point here or
precept,
what. The
line
point
upon
is
line,
God
line
is
upon line,
commanding
here a
babies
little,
have
there
their
a little.
brains bashed out,
It's not a
women be
commandment.
raped.
Where do you see a commandment?
It is a command.
No, it does not.
Verse 3, I myself have commanded my consecrated ones. I have summoned my warriors, my proudly exulting ones, to execute my anger. That's God, buddy. Hate to tell you. I know y'all never read your book and know what's going on, but it's pretty serious. That's why I say you need to go to the actual chapter I'm reading, maybe. That'd be great. Welcome, Raiders. What's up? Damn, Heather must have been going a long time. I did like 5.5 hours. Good Lord. Anyway, yeah, welcome in, guys. What's up? Come on in. I've been going for, I don't know, 20 minutes now, 25 minutes, something. Oh, yep, he dropped, of course. Anyway, he's looking like a fucking idiot, so. Alright. Well, maybe we can get an honest one up here. Let's see. Let's keep it rolling. Damn it! It's got it on the screen again. Oh, hi, Mark, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
I just have a hot take. It's not
Are you a
about
Christian?
Christianity. Yeah, I am, but it's not about it.
Well, do you want to address the actual topic, or?
I mean, I want your thoughts on my hot take.
No, well, fuck off. Alright.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
I am not a Christian, but I definitely kind of disagree with this take. So, what if we separate? Like, so are you saying Christianity's never been good for America ever? Like going back
It's
to
never
the
been
found.
good for anybody, I don't think.
Well, so then you have to
Wait
deny,
a minute. If
like,
you're not a Christian, why are you up here arguing for Christianity?
no, because this is what I'm going to say to you. So if you go back to when we came to this country, right, and you've got the Mayflower, and they're standing on their boats, right. There's a point. It's a very important point in history, right, where the people that come to America, they proclaim to God, right. They say, God, please allow us, all the different people on the boat, right, to go into America and go to this new land and please bless us and all these kind of things, right? Before that, only the king is anointed by God, right? The king is anointed by God. He's the one that rules. He's the one that decides all these things. When we came to the New World, when we got here, right, these thoughts about individual freedom came from religion. Originally, I'm not saying that we go to
Get the
Thomas
fuck out of
Jefferson.
here.
Go to Thomas.
Hell no, you lost your fucking mind. Oh no, that might have been a troll. I don't know. No. No, you lost your fucking mind, dude. That was a good one, though. A good one. Oh shit, that's funny. All right.
Okay. So like us
Hey,
Christians,
Annabelle, you there? Hello,
Hi.
Annabelle. Hey, are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what you want to talk about on the prompt here?
I'm just like kind of confused on the fact why we're judging another's religion when it says in the Bible to, like, I can't find the word now. Like, approve,
Judge.
like,
why is this like the thing that we're worrying about though? Like what causes you to think that we should not believe in this?
Because Christians basically run the government right now, and they're bombing other countries, starting wars, trying to bring back slavery and conquering people, encroaching
actually, I
on
think you have it confused
Hold on,
because
can I finish my sentence?
Yes, sir, sorry.
Is that all right? Shit. No worries. So I don't even remember what I was going to say now, but they're encroaching on freedom unconstitutionally by mandating unconstitutional religious laws in a religiously free country. Now you can go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. So I understand what you're saying, but some people that believe in all those bring back slavery and all those other stuff, they believe in Christian and they're taking account and they're like putting Christian on like a bad image. Most of us don't even believe in that. Like as a Christian, I think
Why
that
wouldn't you believe in that? And as a Christian, it's in the
because
Bible.
those are horrible things.
Yeah, but it's permitted in the Bible. So if you think it's horrible, you should probably not be a Christian.
Yeah, I'm talking
You're
about like
blaspheming
the
God right now in His law. You're literally blaspheming.
well, those people believe in those horrible things that like I'm a Christian and I still don't.
Yeah, but
Like
not.
we don't have to believe in those things to be
You're
a
against
Christian.
those things as a decent human being, though, not as a Christian.
Come again?
You're against things like slavery and injustice as a decent human being, not as a Christian, because as a Christian, you would have to 100% accept those things because they are 100% permitted in the Bible. It's God's law. You're speaking against God's law. That's blasphemy. Oh. Okay. Let's see.
Good morning.
Hey there, you a Christian?
Yes.
Cool. So what you want to talk about on the topic here?
I think it's really hard to detach the justification for human rights from the conceptualization of our divine image. Do you understand what I mean by that?
I do not.
So for instance, like how do you know what is a human right and what's not?
It's well defined in law.
So if we just make a law that something's a human right, it becomes a right?
Yeah, if it's implemented into the law, yeah.
So how do you dictate
Just like
whether or not
Roe versus Wade was a human right, and Christians decided that wasn't enough for free people, so they took it away.
So do you agree with that?
Agree with taking it or agree with not
Well,
taking
if they
it?
took it away, so it's not the law anymore, therefore do you agree that it's not a human right just because it's not in the law?
It depends on state to state in this country, so I guess it's a little more complicated. But no, it's not a human right if you're not permitted that by law.
So how do you dictate whether or not something should be written into the law as a human right or not?
It depends on the society. But when it comes to Roe versus Wade specifically, that was about allowing a rape victim to abort a rape perpetrator's baby. And Christians got rid of that, so congratulations.
Okay, so it's not a human right then, right?
Not in America. Christians decided they don't like having rights, so they repealed it.
Does that bother you?
Yes, it does.
But on what basis?
On the basis that y'all repealed the right to allow a rape victim to abort the rape perpetrator's baby.
And I'm not agreeing with that.
I mean,
but for the sake of
So-
like the argument.
So just to be clear, you're not okay with forcing a rape victim to carry their baby to term, right?
Not okay with a baby forcing the rape victim to carry to term.
Yeah.
I think abortion should only be allowed if the mother's life is in risk of danger. So actually, I would, unless the mother's life is in risk of being in danger, then I do think she should be carrying it to full term.
Okay. Well, that's why I say Christians are against human rights. So y'all repel. Congratulations.
But you just said that
you
human
don't think
rights.
a rape victim should have a right to abort the rapist baby. I mean, y'all
But
are
that
fucking
was
ridiculous.
inconsistent on your part because you just said that
It's
human
not
rights are whatever the
inconsistent.
law is. You
It's
just said that.
inconsistent on your part because you worship a God that actively bashes babies' brains out on the regular in the Bible. God, Jesus kills kids. He threatens to kill kids. Like, y'all don't actually care about kids. That's the real hypocrisy.
So you're derailing, in my opinion, you're derailing the conversation from the point you made that human rights are what the law is. That's how you know what human rights
we were
are
talking
or are
about a
not.
specific one, yeah. I mean, if you're just saying human rights in general, then yeah, Christianity don't give a shit. They care about submission and slavery. They don't give a shit about freedom.
But there isn't a historian I'm aware of who would not tie the Christian conceptualization of the divine image to the creation of a human rights-based system, right? Are you familiar with that trajectory?
The Bill of Rights didn't come from the Bible, man. We got away
Correct.
from the Bible. Exactly. So if we would not have a free country like America if it was a Christian nation.
But on what basis did they justify those rights?
Secular reasons.
So in the Declaration of Independence, when he says they're
History and
God-given, what does that mean?
It doesn't say they're God-given. It says they are endowed by their creator. Which is whoever your creator is. That's religious
You think that's what
freedom.
Thomas Jefferson meant?
Yeah, that's what he said. Have you ever read any of his writings?
A few.
He explains
been
a
a
lot
while.
of this. Do you know what Thomas Jefferson said about Christians?
I know he took a lot of the New Testament out of his own personal Bible, and he was a bit more of a deist.
He was definitely this. This is what he said about Christianity, though. He says, millions of innocent men, women, and children since the induction of Christianity have been burnt, tortured, fined, and imprisoned, yet we have not advanced 1 inch towards uniformity. What has been the effect of this coercion? To make one half of the world fools and the other half hypocrites. To support roguery and error all over the earth. That was Thomas Jefferson's opinion of Christianity.
Okay, I would still argue that his ideas are still, you wouldn't really find them at that time in any other place than a Christian
You
society.
did find them. He based most of all this on Epicurean philosophy
Really?
and history. Yeah.
Okay, I did not
You
know
ever read
that.
Epicurean? Have you ever heard of Epicurean philosophy?
Oh, I've heard like, can God make, what is it, like an unstoppable force or something like that he can't stop?
That's from Batman.
That kind of thing, yeah. That's all I've really heard. I haven't read them.
Right. Well, the whole point of Epicurus was like personal freedom in the pursuit of happiness. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well,
Thomas Jefferson had 5 copies of Lucretian manuscripts in his personal library. That was like all Epicurean and religion, anti-religion steroids injected into Epicurean philosophy.
I did not realize that. I really thought that, wow. I knew that they read the Greeks, but I guess I didn't realize that Thomas Jefferson specifically pulled from Epicurus specifically.
Yeah,
So
there was a
think-
guy back in the 1700s that brought that back and made it like a serious thing during the Enlightenment. Like that was reawakened. They rediscovered all those once lost manuscripts of Epicurus and all that stuff.
Do you think there's at least an affinity to be made? Because, like, you could argue that Christianity took a lot from Greek philosophy. Do you think that at least somewhat primed American culture to be more receptive towards these ideas?
I mean, maybe kind of. That's kind of a complicated question, but I don't think on the front of it they were just borrowing philosophy from the Greeks. They were mostly just still in religious doctrine for the most part. But it wasn't like they were following Greek philosophy by any means, because the Greeks knew about atoms and stuff and that the world was round, and the Bible didn't know any of that. So that wasn't totally zapping from that.
And when you say they, you're talking about like the common American person, not the founding fathers.
Just then I was talking about the Bible writer, whoever wrote the Bible.
Oh, okay. Well, wait. You're saying that they didn't pull from the Greeks?
No. They had like Hellenistic influences from Judaism. That's for damn sure. But it wasn't like Western philosophy necessary, though. It wasn't that for sure.
So do you think we could have, how to word this? Yeah, like this is getting abstract and silly, because I think you kind of get the point that like I was kind of making the basis on like a historical trajectory kind of thing. Do you think we would have still gotten to this same place, so to speak, without Christianity?
Well, I mean, maybe like if the Pilgrims wanted to come here and do their own religion, so that was kind of the point, was to make a secular government so you could have freedom of religion here, which wasn't the main idea when they came. They just wanted to do religion how they wanted to do religion. It didn't really have nothing to do with the idea of religious freedom. But it turned out that way. So in that regard, yeah, it probably wouldn't have happened without Christianity. Now, did Christianity influence the actual Bill of Rights and the founding? No, I don't think so at all. I think it goes directly against Christianity and the ideals from like the Ten Commandments or whatever.
Okay, well, to be honest, I mean, like I could like pick and parcel. Like, I guess the only disagreement I would really have is I think Christianity, at least from like within your framework, primed the culture for the reception of those ideas. And that was really kind of like my whole point, was like going off like the divine image and the whole notion of human rights.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was ideas about what not to do.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, hold on, I'll show you. The whole reason that James Madison says they separated church and state was right here. It says the purpose of separation of church and state is to keep forever from these shores the ceaseless strife that has soaked the soil of Europe in blood for centuries. So it's basically keeping religion out, because religions just try to take power and then kill everybody else. Can't be free that way. Can't have a free nation of free people and free thinkers.
Well, shit, bud, I think we agree a lot more than I realized. Within relative respect of this, to a degree, but, well, sweet, man.
No, I got you.
I'm going to go eat breakfast, but thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go look into the whole Epicurean thing with Thomas Jefferson.
That'd be cool. Yeah, check it out, man.
Yeah. Have a wonderful day, man. Thank you.
Back at you, buddy. Have a good one. Well, that turned out pleasant. Shit. I don't know what to do with it now. Anyway. It's a bit of taking back. Shit. All right. Somebody's name was Patriot something. We gotta get them in here. All right. Hey, guest, are you there?
What's happening?
Hey, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I am a Christian.
Okay, cool. What you want to talk about with in regards to the topic here?
Actually, I think we're on the same page, but you just put up an example from Madison. I thought I'd just give you a bigger, better, more, I guess, constitutional centralized example.
You mean of Madison himself, or just like the separation of?
I think Madison's speech from 1788 at the Richmond Theater, the ratification in the Commonwealth, 1788 Richmond Theater, his Article 49 speech is probably the most thorough and complete explanation of the separation of church and state. So if you want to use one, that would be the most effective. Of course, him and Jefferson were best friends, as we know from Paul Jennings' reminiscences of James Madison, or I should say a black man's reminiscences of James Madison. But they were best friends, and, you know, along with Paine, and I don't think you can get any closer to the penning of the Declaration, certainly, than Jefferson and Paine. But those three...
100%. I think Thomas Paine ought to 100% be counted as one of the founders, even though he technically wasn't. I don't think without him it would have happened. So,
I mean, literally, if you're breaking down percentages, he's probably 80% of the development of our government, and John Jay the other 20% probably. And he certainly
he wrote Common Sense. I mean, shit, that's what started the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, the absolute thirst for power is a natural disease of monarchy, right at the beginning of Common Sense. Yeah, I mean, absolutely was one of the ones that warned about this very thing happening the last 10 years. It's a disaster. I think everybody needs to call out Christian nationalism openly and call it for what it is, because our forefathers, especially as we get closer and drill down to the ones that really, really had a lot to do with the Bill of Rights and our rights in general and our freedoms and constitutional law, that we have to call it out. Because if we don't, and I think that this is a problem a little bit with the Democratic Party as well, if they don't call it out, they're losing not only what is the division, what has caused the vast majority of it the last decade, but they're missing an opportunity because it is unlawful. It is illegal. And Tallarico is one of the first representatives to really, go attack it. And really the entire Democratic Party needs to take it head on. The Interfaith Alliance versus Trump Bondi case is a perfect example. Matter of fact, that's where I pulled. No, that's not where I pulled the Payne quote. Actually, there's a Washington quote from the very beginning complaint of that suit. If everybody's not familiar with that, please get familiar with Interfaith Alliance versus Trump. Google that. Also Google Article 49 religion. Also Google and look into the Statute of Religious Freedom and George Mason in the state of Virginia if you want to get into this religious dive, because that's going to explain why we have a separation of church and state, not just the common sense, pun intended, of not favoring a religion is the utmost of religious freedom, but also an explanation and to look back in hindsight and see why, in fact, we're divided and why all these pillars have been used. The Christian nationalism is specifically evangelical, but more specifically Pentecostal. And that has a lot of indoctrination in terms of homophobia, Islamophobia, other religions being cults, and major problems. This is what's happening in our country. So I just wanted to get on your show. Thank you for the vine and say that.
Thanks for saying it, man. I agree. Win for the yes there.
Yeah, there's a lot of us out here. We just got to be more vocal. We got to call it out. Just go up to people, man. If they support religion or any specific religion in your public education and government, they are the enemy, not us. As Trump referred to liberals as the enemy in front of the 82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg on Memorial Day weekend, no less. One of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen a president do. I'll leave you at that. I got to go to work. Thanks so much for the vine.
Thanks for coming up, man. Sound the trumpet for that fellow there. That is a Christian who we will call a W4. Big W's for separation of church and state. I think the church just needs to go personally, but I wouldn't even have a show if everybody was like that dude right there. Of course, then again, we wouldn't have many of these problems if everybody was like that guy. So.
Hello.
Yes, are you there? What's up, man? Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Cool. So what you want to talk about on the topic here?
I mainly just wanted to point out that I do understand that a lot of the negative things in our country are caused by Christians, but I just wanted to point out that not all Christians are bad, and I do think that we should have the right to the freedom of religion. It is a natural right in the U.S. Constitution, but I do think that in some cases there are points in our timeline where Christianity probably painted itself in a bad light. So I just wanted to hear what your arguments for that were.
I think it's painting itself. I agree with you. It's painting itself in a bad light right now. They're trying to bring back slavery and conquering people, and it's a really bad look. And mandating Bible readings in school now in the biggest state in the connected country.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Supreme Court isn't doing shit about it, even though they're supposed to.
I mean, it was ruled unconstitutional in 1963. So, I mean, there's existing case law on this. Like, that's what I don't get. It's blatantly unconstitutional. Like, there's existing case law that says exactly what they're doing is unconstitutional. So, I mean,
a lot of these
I'll take a look at it again. I don't know.
A Unfortunately, in today's society, we have leaders that don't really care about the Constitution and upholding the fundamentals of the promised land and are basically ruining our country.
Well, the promised land was Canaan's, so
Yeah, that was the promised land.
yeah, it was never America. But I mean, it sounds like we kind of agree there. Church and state should be separate. But my real concern is with Christians that most of them will turn a blind eye just because it's kind of the Bible, and not really realizing that it's bad for them too. You know what I mean?
No, I've after like doing some realization because I was a Christian, then I went to being an atheist for a while. I've only just recently gotten right with God. It really occurred to me that Christianity is like practically brainwashing us.
Wait a minute, you were a Christian and then you went to atheism from Christianity?
Yeah, I was a Christian at a
Oh
very young
shit!
age,
Well,
and then
you know
like
you
for
can't go back, right?
oh no, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
mean, I
you're screwed
technically,
anyway. So you might as well go back to atheism.
yeah, I guess.
Says in Hebrews 6, if you fall away, you can't be brought back to repentance.
I mean, that is true to a degree, but fundamentally speaking, God forgives anybody who commits sin or strays away from his path. He will always allow you into his kingdom as long as you repent for your sin. After all, Jesus did die on the cross for our sins.
So do you keep all the commandments?
I do have the 10 Commandments. I just
No, all the commandments. There's not just 10.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah, there's like 600 something actually.
Wow. I didn't even fully know that because the main ones I focus on are the 10. But sometimes I can't even name them all off my head.
So do you observe the Sabbath and keep it holy?
Yeah, I do. But
So you don't ever work on Saturdays or permit the household to work on Saturdays, except for the wife, of course.
None of us really work on Saturdays. We all use it as like a time of leisure. I mainly sit here.
As long as you're keeping the 10 Commandments there, but yeah, there's way more than 10 actually. The first 10 are made in Exodus chapter 20, where there's actually 11, but those are destroyed, and then they reforge them in Exodus 34. And but yeah, there's way more than 10. It doesn't even like number them actually or call them the 10 Commandments.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's wild out there. But like in 1 John, it says actually, what does this? Oh, it says, now by this we know that we have come to know him if we obey his commandments. Whoever says, I have come to know him, but does not obey his commandments is a liar. And in such a person, the truth does not exist. But whoever obeys his word, truly in this person, the love of God has reached perfection. So yeah, you have to keep all the commandments. There's way more than 10.
Wow.
You got a lot more work to do, mister.
Yeah, I do. I've got my whole life ahead of me, though. I'm only 15
Yeah,
years
that's cool. So you better get to stoning those disobedient children and adulterers and anyone who entices you to other gods. You have to kill them. You can have slaves if you want, though.
Yeah, no.
You know what?
I don't want to have slaves. I think that the whole concept of slavery is very wrong.
Oh, well, I mean, you don't have to have them, but, you know, if you do want some, you can get all you want. It's not a problem for God.
Might as well go work in a prison if I really did want slaves, because that's where all the slaves are right now.
Kind of. Can't really make them work in your field, though, either.
I mean, you kind of can. Because, like, if you pay millions of dollars to the prison agency,
oh, shit,
you can have them come and work for you. There are ways to do that.
Well, thank God for that, huh?
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. I think that whole thing is just...
Damn. Well, let me give you a scenario. Say I owned a slave, and after they come in from working and tending the fields all day, when they come in the house, I tell them, put on your apron and serve me while I eat and drink. And then after I'm done, you can eat and drink. But the slave don't want to do that because they're tired. So they says, listen, I've worked in the field all day and I really don't want to serve you right now. So in response to this, I take a rod and I beat them bloody. Would that be a sin in the eyes of God?
I think it would really all depend, because if it is some books in the Bible do think that like slaves are not supposed to defy, but from a humane standpoint, I don't think it's defying God, because you're supposed to treat everybody with respect, like even your enemies and your.
So you're saying it would be a sin?
Yes, it would
You
be.
would be incorrect. God says you can own slaves, you can beat them. And Jesus even tells us that story that I just got. Jesus tells that story himself about the slave. It's exactly what he says. He says when a slave comes in from tending the field or whatever, they put on their aprons and they serve you. And you don't have to say thank you or nothing. They're just worthless slaves who've done what they ought to have done. That's a story from Jesus. Ain't that cool?
Ew. I don't like that. I did not even know that was a thing.
It's in Luke 17.
That's crazy.
Verse 7 through 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild, man. That's what I'm saying. If you really actually study this, like the Bible and stuff, this is horrible, horrible stuff. Jesus is not the guy that Christians think he is. Like, he advocates for killing kids. He advocates for slavery, keeping unjust laws. He says a woman is guilty of adultery if a man divorces her. The penalty for adultery is death, you know. And he says a man is guilty of adultery if he marries a woman who's previously been divorced. So, I mean, like, this is Jesus. Like, this is ridiculous, man. You can't say that stuff. He calls a Canaanite woman a dog at one point. He says he's going to have a lady named Jezebel thrown on a bed and pretty much raped. And then he's going to kill her kids with death, whatever, you know. It's bad stuff, man. Unfortunately, there's a lot of that in here.
That's insane.
It really is.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time.
No problem, man. No problem.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
Have a good one, buddy.
You too.
Yeah, we're actually getting some decent guests today. Shit. It's a wild world out here. I think we got Love, then Cloudy. Or actually, we had Love, then Billy and the Boys, and then Cloudy. I think that's the way those come out. Yeah, so. Hey, Love, are you there?
Yeah, 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right.
Oh, yeah. What's up? You're a Christian? Hello?
Yeah. I'm a believer. I should say that. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. So, what you want to talk about in regards to the topic here?
So, I just want to ask you, when you take this reference from the Bible, you know what I mean? Most people, and I'm not talking about just you. I'm talking about in general, everybody. If when I found out the story how when they unalived, I know we're supposed to say unalive, Yahshua, whatever, Jesus, aka, for 300 years. If you look at the history, for 300 after they unalive him, what did they do? You know, I mean, if you are an investigator, that's what you would do. You know, for 300 years, they were unaliving his followers, his mother,
Who's they?
Mary
I'm not
bloodline.
sure what we're talking about.
At the Roman, I mean, at that time, you know, when
You mean after Jesus
they
died?
unalived them. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So now think
So
about it. You know
300
what I'm
years
saying?
after Jesus died,
After that,
Rome killed Christians. Okay.
for 300 years, they unalived them. They burned. They tried to get rid of his teaching. Okay. After 300 years, around 4th century, the new Roman Empire, the Constantine, I believe, he said, you know what? They all said, and they said, you know, this thing is very powerful. This message is a little bit powerful, so we can't get rid of it. We have to implement it in the Roman Empire. They put it, you know, they accepted it in the Roman Empire, and they had another meeting where they decided
And
what to
barely
put
100
in there,
years
what not
later,
to
the
put in
empire
there.
had fallen.
Fallen, but the system they put in didn't fall. It's still here, Christianity. You know,
Yeah.
think about it. Yeah, you're right. A lot of things fail, but the system, the foundation of the system doesn't fall.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I get why it's still here. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes when we, take code and something out of the Bible, which doesn't make sense, but you be like, oh, this, and that, we forget to tell how this thing came about. If you look at this, just that fact, I mean, there's a lot of things, but they unalived him for 300 years. They unalived his followers. They chasing him, hiding,
I mean,
burning,
sometimes they
a lot of
did.
things.
They were mostly unaliving each other. That's why the Council of Nicaea actually happened, because
No,
Constantine got tired of them fighting each other. He said, look, we can't have this sort of division up in here. Y'all are going to have to hash this out because this has to stop. Right after, so that was Constantine the Great. His grandson, Julian, actually had a famous quote. He says, there is no beast as dangerous to man as Christians are to each other. And that was,
but
in the
but and
360s.
I know what they did. If you're looking at reality of what they did, they weren't no followers. They weren't holy people. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about?
The system that created Christianity in
Oh,
fourth
well, I mean,
century. If you look
it
at
depends on
their,
who you ask, man. Like, the Bible says God's love does not reside in those who don't abide in him. So if you're listening to Jesus and stuff, you're just worthless slaves anyway. So if you're taking out the fact that God don't love them, then Christians can be easily swayed to think that they're just worthless people who need to die anyway. They're just heretics. That's where that whole idea comes from, is that you're worthless without the right belief.
so basically what I'm trying to say is, uh, I don't, when I read the Bible or something, there's a lot of things that is contradicting, a lot of things that doesn't make sense, and there's some truth in it. So I go back to the
There's some truth
history
in the
how
contradictions.
there's, uh, you know, it's a mixture of things to confuse people, to divide people. Because if you're looking at reality, where we are right now after 2,000 years, there's a lot of confusion. That's why we have a lot of
Yeah,
religion, a lot of argument. There's a
yeah.
confusion. I mean, you cannot argue that. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what the
So,
author of this confusion is?
uh,
It's actually pretty obvious. You probably already know.
I mean, you can
It's the
say it in a
Bible.
different way. Yeah, yeah, it's the Bible. I
Exactly.
really
It's
agree.
worse
I
for
agree with you with
humanity.
that.
Something this confusing can't do anybody any good. Like, vague laws are just dangerous. Vague doctrines are they're just dangerous, and that's why there's 50,000 denominations of Christianity now. Why they've persecuted each other for 2,000 years since the inception of
Yeah,
this religion here. It's because of the
and
confusion.
yeah, and Muslim is pretty much just the secondary same thing. There's a lot of division within them, and just a copy version, updated version of the same system,
Yeah, right.
trying to get
Yeah,
people to
exactly. So let's get
go,
rid of
yeah.
it, man. Let's get on something square here we can define and move on past this ridiculous part of our history here. Be great. Oh, let's see what goes there.
I mean, it's now. I mean, you can't just move on from here because
Sure you
I
can. I
think
did it.
people have to
I
figure
did it
it out.
like 15 years ago,
Huh?
and my shit's been great ever since.
Yeah, but you want this collectively. You know what I'm saying? Individually, of course, people can
Yeah.
move on, but how do we move on? Collectively. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I guess we all talk about it and get on the same page, I guess. I mean, the first step
I
would just
mean,
be
we
agreeing that
we have
we're
to
worse off with this than without it.
do the. I mean, you do.
But You broke up, love. Sorry. Oh,
100%.
one
That's
bad
what I was
signal you
getting
got
ready
there.
to say is okay. What about now?
I can hear that better,
I know you're gonna catch a lot.
but it's still showing your
Okay, you
signal's
can catch.
really, really
You're gonna
bad.
catch a lot of. What I'm trying to say is you're gonna catch. You catching a lot of flag fight by you doing this, but the first step to this is to open people's eyes that there is a big lie. We've been lied to. You know what I'm saying? That is the first step.
Yeah,
Until somebody's convinced that he's been lied to in the bigger way, in the bigger picture, you can't move to the next step of trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It took me.
that
That's why I
exactly.
brought. I
That's why
mean,
I'm here. That's a good way to put it. I am the first step because I show people what the Bible actually says, not what they think it says, and it's bad, really, really
yeah.
bad.
And I don't think most people know how the history came about. How all this. Like I said, when I started going back and started finding out recently, I found out this history. Like, after 300 years, they unalived them, and then they did this, that, did that, and it doesn't make sense. A lot of things was taken out, a lot of things was put in. And then you can go on. How to control people and all that. You can keep going and on. Now that doesn't mean you know, Jesus was the wrong person. Jesus might have had a message, but they might have switched the role his message. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with somebody that I don't know. It's the people who put the system set up to confuse us. Is that I have a problem. Maybe
Yeah,
Jesus was just a person and was trying to get a message to us, trying to open our eyes, but
maybe.
the people after him confused us. That could be that's a
Yeah, we
possibility,
didn't get
but
nothing from Jesus.
yeah, I mean, we weren't there, so we can't say we got anything from what we got is under his name a lot of confusion.
True. That is what we got.
And
And that's why we're going to be better off when this is gone because we can all get on the same page once we disregard this 50,000 denomination train wreck of a religion this is.
yeah, the system has to fall. The system of this thinking of religious or the whole system has to break down. But
Yeah, I mean,
like you
it's
said,
on
the
the way
first step.
out, especially in America. The number of
Yeah,
Christian and church attendance here is dropping like a rock. I
yeah,
mean, and for
and
good
it's pretty
reason.
much all over the world.
Yeah,
It's all over the world. I mean, we can see it here, but. Like you said, the first step is people just need to realize how big a lie it is, and it's hard, man. It took me a lot of years to really believe that, like we've been lied to. At first, I just ignored it, but eventually, if you're really paying attention, if you truly, from your heart, you're looking for, you got good intention, you're gonna see it.
right, right.
Of course, and some people had to, lead you towards that way, uh, you know. But at the end, in your mind, you have to see this light, inside of your conscious. See it for what it is, and then the next step will come. And obviously, we're all waiting for that, and because I know
Word
a lot
up,
of people are
player.
suffering. A lot of people are suffering around the world. You know what I'm saying?
For reals. Yep.
And
God ain't doing shit. He's up there in the sky being useless as fuck, as usual.
yeah,
But anyway,
it's
love, yeah, I appreciate you coming up, man. But we got a bunch of people in the queue, so I'm gonna bring some. Maybe we'll get some
appreciate. All right,
little harder
no problem, man.
debate side
No
up or
problem.
something. Have a good one,
No
love.
problem.
All right, let's see here. I'm trying to remember. It was who was it? It was Billy and then Cloudy. Billy might not be here. Yeah, people like me out here preaching against slavery and shit. Oh, woe to me who preaches against thee. Hey, Cloudy, you there?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy? Are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
Cool, man. So, what you want to talk about on the topic here?
Um, well, I mean, America would be better off without Christianity. I mean, I don't, I don't really like.
it just depends when people say what Christianity is, because I feel like a religion deceives a lot of people, you know? So I kind of agree with what you're saying. Yeah, there's too many religions, you know?
So you're not proving the prompt wrong? You're agreeing with me?
I'm agreeing with it, but I'm also saying, like, people, like, if you have a relationship with Jesus, you'll be saved. If you follow religion, you're going to go to hell either way. You know what I mean? Like people can claim to be Christian.
What's the
Doesn't mean that
difference
they're
in following
God.
Jesus and religion?
If they don't follow the commandments and deny their flesh every day, so they'll just go to hell.
Follow the commandments?
100%. Yeah.
Shit. How many people have you stoned to death?
I follow Jesus didn't stone anyone, did he?
Well, the commandments say to stone people for all kinds of reasons.
Did Jesus stone anyone?
He advocated for
it. Did Jesus commit a sin, though?
The Bible doesn't say he stoned anyone himself, but he does advocate for stoning children who speak evil of children of father and mother to death, yeah.
If Jesus lives in a born-again believer, they're not going to stone anyone, bro.
If you keep the commandments, you will, because that's what the commandments say to do.
Do you want scripture on that?
Yeah.
Because Lamentations 11:14 literally says that Jesus Christ was without any sin. So if he lives in a person, how is he going to...
Lamentations.
Yeah, how is he going to get anyone to commit sin? Making no sense. I think that's right. I don't have my Bible. Where's my Bible? It's right here. Maybe is it Lamentations? He was without sin.
I've never heard anybody say Jesus was in Lamentations, but
no, the Bible is the word of God through Jesus.
Well, most of the Bible came way before Jesus, and the Gospels about Jesus only make up a small portion of those stories.
Because they prophesied about Jesus 400 years before he walked the earth.
Oh, no. There's not a single prophecy in the Hebrew Bible that Jesus actually fulfills or...
Go to Songs 22.
That's not a prophecy.
Go to Songs 22. David wrote about Jesus getting crucified on the cross, dying.
That's not a prophecy. That's a lament of David.
That is a prophecy, brother. If you actually... Do you have Google?
Okay, what was fulfilled in Psalm 22 then?
Google Songs 22. Just type in Psalm 22.
Psalm 22.
It a prophecy?
It's a lament of David.
Let Google decide it. Google it.
I don't need to Google it. I have a
because
Bible.
You know
I have the actual.
Brother.
I can read the Hebrew. I can read Hebrew, and I can read it from the Tanakh, from the Aleppo and Leningrad Codex.
I want an outside source, not your opinion, bud.
Dude, what is being fulfilled from a lament of David?
Why are you scared? Google Songs 22.
I can go to Psalm 22. I know what it's about. I can read it in Hebrew.
Right. Type in, was Songs 22 a prophecy about Jesus? And
it's not a prophecy. I'm telling you to explain to me how it's a prophecy. What's being fulfilled
You want me to pull out my tablet and read it if you don't want to?
I want you to tell me why it's a prophecy.
Brother, your opinion is invalid. I need you want sources, right? We need to go by sources, not by your opinion. Come on, brother.
We can go by the words on the paper.
Let Google it then, bros. Type in Psalms 22.
Why? I've never heard a Christian insist that I Google the Bible.
Because you don't know the Bible.
What in the world is happening? I do know the Bible. I can read this shit in Hebrew.
No, you don't. You don't know what you're talking about, brother.
So did you just come up here to lie and be disingenuous?
Oh, so now you want to kick me off because I'm about to prove you wrong?
You're not actually engaging. You're telling me to Google stuff and then calling me a liar.
I'm
saying I can't read.
But I'm giving you a scripture. Of course you're a liar, but I'm giving you a scripture.
Explain to us how Psalm 22 is a prophecy fulfilled in Jesus.
Because David wrote about it 400 years before it happened about Jesus being crucified.
He lived 900 years before Jesus.
No,
but how was this fulfilled? What did Jesus fulfill?
Read the Songs 22. Do you understand how to read? Read it. It will tell you.
I do. I can read it in Hebrew. I've already said that.
You can read it Hebrew, Greek, English.
What do you want me to read? What part's about Jesus?
It's going to tell you about the prophesies about Jesus, about his cloth being folded, about them putting him on the cross, around him getting pierced, his hands and
doesn't
feet
say
were
nothing.
pierced. Yes,
What
it
verse
does.
is
Go to the
that?
King
No, it
James
doesn't.
version, brother.
Doesn't
If
say
you want to
that.
go to the Hebrew version, go to King James
I
version.
can read the original Hebrew. I don't need
Okay,
the
then
King
read
James
it.
Bible. I can
Read
read
it.
what that is based on.
Are you going to read it or just gonna keep
It doesn't
talking?
say pierced. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't say
It
what
says
you're
his
saying it
hands
says.
and feet were pierced for our
No,
transgressions.
it doesn't. Not in the Tanakh, it doesn't.
What is a Tanakh, brother? I'm talking
You don't
about you
even
to
know
go
what
to
a
King
Tanakh
James.
is?
No, I want you to go to the King James version. Do you know what the KJV is? King James, brother. It says his hands and pierced. I'm about
Do
to
you
read
know
it
what
out.
the King
I
James Bible
you
is
know what?
based on,
I'll read it.
sir?
I got my
Hey,
Bible right in front
hey,
of me, brother.
listen. Yeah, do you know what the King James Bible is based on?
Oh, now you're gonna diss the Bible because, of course, you don't believe, bro.
I'm
You're
asking.
not
Can
gonna
you just
believe in
answer a
Scripture, of course.
question honestly for the first time in this conversation?
I'm answering questions, brother. I'm being completely
What
honest
is
with
the
you.
King James Bible based on?
King James. Let me read it real quick. Let me find it. Keep going. Give me your claim. I'm gonna find it because you
Can
don't want to
you
read
just
it.
answer the question? Do you know what the King James Bible is based on? Do you know what it is?
Let me see. His hands and feet were pierced.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna find it for you, bro. Here it goes. For dogs have compassed me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierce my hands and my feet. I may tell all of my bones. They look and stare upon me. They part my garments among them and cast lots upon my vesture.
Who's the Maya
Literally
there?
says,
Whose lots are being
"Oh no,
casted for?
we're gonna look at Scripture how it is because you want to debate a
I
Christian."
know that. What you
It
just read
says
it.
they
So what does it
pierced my
say?
hands
Who
and
is
my
the
feet.
Maya?
So
Who is me?
what does that mean?
Who
What
is
does that
me?
mean, bud? They pierced
Who
my hands
is
and my
me?
feet. This is a
Who
prophecy
is
David wrote
me?
about 400
Who
years
is
before
me?
Jesus walked the earth, correct?
Who is me?
David.
Exactly. That's David writing about David, not
Because
Jesus. That's a lament,
let's
not a.
look
You
at a
don't even know
Christian
what a
aspect.
prophecy is, man.
No, if you're
And
gonna
I'm trying to
debate
tell you for
Scripture,
like the
hold
10th
on.
time now. In
I'm
Hebrew,
gonna
it
let you
does
talk. Go
not
ahead.
say pierced.
I'm looking at it right now. I just read it, brother.
I know you're looking at it in the King James. I'm looking at what the King James was
Do you
translated from,
understand
the
that
actual
David?
Hebrew, and it's not there.
It's.
And
I'm
even if
reading
it was
Psalms
there, it's
20,
not talking about Jesus.
Psalms
That's David
22,
speaking in
16.
present tense,
Father,
first
forgive them,
person.
for they have forsaken me. What did
All right.
Jesus say his last words
Look,
on the
I'm going to give
cross?
you one last chance, and then I'm going to move
Now
on to
you
the next
want to
person here, because
get rid
this
of me because
is.
I'm preaching
I
Scripture
want
to
you to
you?
actually
Come
engage
on,
in the
brother.
conversation. The questions I'm actually asking you. Is
You
that
haven't
impossible
even
for you to
answered the
do?
questions I'm answering, bro. Asking you.
Oh my fucking God! All right. Well,
What
have a
up?
good one. Yep. Anyway, we're gonna move on to someone capable of a coherent thought here. Wow. Anyway, hi, Humble, you there?
I'm here.
Hey, what's up? Are you Christian?
Yes.
Cool. So, what you want to talk about on the prompt here?
Well, I don't like to debate in strife, and I know there's a lot of strife that can come up in a debate. The Bible says to appeal when you discuss topics in the Bible, not to debate in strife. And when you start debating in strife, you kind of lose out. Just kind of like what happened here. So I really don't
We can
like to
just have a
debate here.
conversation. I mean,
Yeah, we can have a conversation. The Christianity, he was right about that. Religion is what killed Jesus. So, if you're a religious person,
well, Jesus wasn't killed for religion. He was killed for breaking Roman law and inciting a riot against Rome.
well,
That's sedition
Pilate,
in Roman law. It
right?
didn't have anything to do with religion. He was saying he was the king. You can't do that in Rome.
Right. They thought he was blaspheming pretty much.
Well, that
And
was the Jews, but I'm talking about the Romans. He was executed under Roman law for sedition.
when Pilate handed him over to the Jews, right? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was the Romans that nailed him to the cross.
Okay. I'm not
Right.
totally adept in every single aspect. You probably know a lot more than I do in certain areas, but
Right. Well, I'm just saying.
all
I'm
I
just
can
making the
do is
point that
just,
it's not
yeah,
religion. I mean, the blasphemy part was, but the Romans actually executed him for a secular law that was trying to claim you were a king in the Empire of Rome, which was no bueno.
right. But
Yeah.
religion, they thought they were doing right. Do you believe that? When they crucified him, they thought they were doing right.
Yeah, the same way Christians thought they were doing right when they burned Giovanni Bruno at the stake.
So we can be sincerely wrong in aspects, and when talking about things, I can be sincerely wrong. To say everything. I'm not saying you, but talking in general. When someone says they know it all, run from that individual because they do not know it all. Even though the person with the most knowledge still doesn't know it all because we don't understand. The Bible says the natural man can't understand the things of God. So, that's including every person walking this earth can't fully understand it.
Well, that's because it don't make any sense.
I can understand that.
Coincidentally, you can't understand things that don't make sense. That's why the book says things like "Don't lean on your own understanding." Don't try to take this in. Just let it go.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean, it's interesting, man. Like I said, I don't want to debate and strive or anything, but I like a good conversation. You seem like you can have a good conversation, even though you stand firm on your beliefs. So, but it can happen to anyone. So,
true.
That's all I really got to say, man. No hate here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no hate here at all. So, like I said, I've been in places in my life where, yeah, I was born into being a Christian and having a relationship with God. I wasn't born into religion, but because like I said, those are sectors of that man's created. Religion is man created. So that's why all you people that are atheists and all the other atheists on here that are listening, yeah, you're looking at religion. It's evil. It's corrupt. That's what you're basing your
So why do y'all join it when you know it's evil and corrupt?
I'm not a part of any religion. And like this guy that was on here before.
I thought you said you were a Christian.
That's not a religion, brother. That's Christianity is a religion, but a Christian it simply means Christ-like. And if you have a relationship,
that's a religion to be Christ-like, to be like Jesus. You're exonerating a deistic figure.
Wow, I think
that's literally the definition of religion. You're following doctrines from a supposed deity. That's literally religion.
I'd have to disagree on that. I think that's subjective a little bit.
Well, as a Christian, what do you do besides call yourself a Christian?
Well, like I said, I'm working on being a Christian. I'm still have flesh and bone, and I bleed just like everybody else does. I'm not better than anybody. So it's a process. Some people live way better than others. Some people are closer to God than others. It's just
you haven't denied yourself and picked up your cross and followed Jesus?
I have denied a lot of things in my life, and I try to. The Bible tries to attack your thoughts too, and they say even thoughts are a sin. So it's tough, man. You say people think Christians are, or it's easy to look down on somebody. Really, dude, we're just, the Bible says a great house, it has vessels of honor and dishonor. So there's people in church that are vessels of dishonor walking around the church. Nobody's saying, that.
Well, I'm just figuring out I'm trying to figure out what your stake in Christianity is. Like, what do you actually do? Like, why do you call yourself a Christian?
Basically, Christianity at the end of the day, it should be you picking up your cross, like you said, and denying your flesh. Paul said, deny yourself daily. So
but what does that mean,
die to the things of the flesh, die to hate, die to pride, die to all the works of the
commands,
flesh.
Right? The will of the Father.
All the works of the flesh, like hatred, right? You can have hatred. That's got to go. Lust, that's got to go. Just the things of the flesh. What do we all like to do? I like to lust, right? I like lust after a woman, right? I like to overindulge in food sometimes. I could be a gluttonous, right? That's a sin.
So as a Christian, you still do that, right?
Of course, we're still human, but you have to die to those things. It's a process. Paul said, "I die daily." You don't just die in one day. You got to die daily. It's a process.
Yeah, but he also says if you willfully persist in sin, then there is no sacrifice for you. That's useless.
I understand that, but that there was talking about the sacrifice of animals.
It was talking about the sacrifice of Christ. He says it is of no benefit to you if you persist in sin.
You talk about to sin willfully after receiving the knowledge of the truth. There's no sacrifice for
Yeah,
sin.
exactly. Yeah, and it says
Well,
it's going to be even worse for you
okay,
because you have spurned the Son of God and crucified him all over again.
okay. So he's gonna judge me, right? But he's also
Yeah.
merciful. He also forgives.
No.
And also, you can
No,
pay
when
for
you
your
get
sin. Yeah.
judged, the point's not to show you mercy.
No, I'm going to pay for my sins, absolutely. But
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I'm going to lose out. I'm going to pay for my
Yes, it
sins.
does. You're not supposed to be sinning if you're a Christian, according to the Bible anyway. You're
That's
supposed
the
to be
goal.
absolutely perfect, and that's what
That,
Jesus himself says.
well, you have to become perfect through the things you suffer.
By keeping the commands.
Well, sin and perfection are two different things. Sin is a command, is
Sin
something
is
you can't
breaking
break.
the law.
Correct. And perfection is the final touch.
Keeping the law. That's what
Right.
righteousness is. It's keeping the law. Sin is
Absolutely.
transgression of the law
Well,
and all wrongdoing.
perfection only comes by the things you suffer. You have to suffer things. That's aside from being sinless. You have
Why
to.
do you have to suffer? Why is that such a Christian thing that you have to suffer and have a shitty life and be degraded so badly?
Christ had to suffer. Christ became Christ weren't always perfect. He was
He didn't
sinless.
have to. God just made him do it, and he made him do it for nothing.
Well, did you know God wasn't Jesus wasn't always perfect? He became perfect. It said.
Yeah, I know it was a bad person. I don't know why anybody follows this guy.
Well, he was sinless, but he wasn't always perfect. The Bible said he became perfect. Became. What does that mean? Became.
Well, it wasn't sinless.
That
he
means
changed the
that
law
means there was a
itself. That
time,
was a
right?
sin.
So,
Huh?
so if you became something, that means you weren't that before. So the Bible says he became perfect through the things he suffered.
Yeah, it says a lot of things.
So, but
Jesus
anyway,
says you have
man.
to keep the law, though. That's how you get to heaven.
Oh, trust me, dude. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm trying to become a Christian. You know, it's hard, man. But you got to do it because you know what? I can not be a Christian
No.
and just
You
come
shouldn't
out
do
here
it
and
because the
indulge.
law says you can own slaves and you're supposed to kill kids and stuff. Even Jesus says that.
Well, I don't think Jesus said it. I think
Oh, he
back
definitely
when
does. It chastises the Pharisees in Matthew chapter 15 and Mark chapter 7 for not putting their foul-mouthed children to death. And in Revelations, he just straight up says he's going to kill kids. The descendants of Jezebel, he says they'll kill her children.
well, here's the thing. God's righteous no matter what he does. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but he's
It does
righteous.
sound crazy because stoning children to death is not righteous in any sort, shape, or form, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think it's a judgment for those people, man. It's a judgment for all those people that disobeyed God, man, and
Yeah,
turned to
but
their
it's
flesh.
Jesus calling them hypocrites for not stoning disobedient children to death. He's telling them they're breaking the commands of God and calling them hypocrites for it.
Oh,
They're
so they were doing something. God
well, they
was just
came up
having
to, in the
fun.
passage, they came up to Jesus and they said, "Hey, why aren't you washing your hands according to tradition?" And Jesus is like, "Well, why aren't you killing your kids like God commanded?" And I would imagine in their head they would be quite taken back by that. But he says, "You're breaking the commandments of God by not stoning your disobedient children to death." So I mean,
I
like, what the
can't.
hell? Why would you come back with that over hand washing? Like, why is that your response? Like, it's utterly insane.
That's another thing that I was saying. We can't understand the mind of God. I don't
You can't
understand.
understand it. That's what God commands. It's really simple, actually. God commanded that if a child speaks evil of father or mother, or they're disobedient, then they have to die. That's straightforward and simple. And Jesus is saying, "Hey, you're not doing that. You're breaking the commands of God for the sake of tradition."
Well,
And he's saying you're
I would.
taking away what was God's
Yeah.
korban, is what that means.
Here's what I would
But
answer to that.
it's
Here's what I would
incredibly
answer to that.
simple. That's not a mystery. I mean,
No. Here's what I would answer to that. Be thankful you're in a time where God doesn't do that. We're under grace right now. But there was a time, yes. If you were in that law
grace.
in that day and time, you would be
Where does
stoned to
Jesus
death.
say anything about grace? Jesus says to keep the law. He says in John, "If you love me, you will keep all my commands."
Right, but nobody's getting stoned to death anymore. Like that guy said before
I
that was
know
on
that
here.
shit's illegal. You can't even keep the law of God in this country. It's crimes against humanity and children. Like, you can't. I mean, if we was to enact God's law in this country,
Jesus,
it would be a
but
freaking nightmare.
but Jesus never did that. Just like that guy said, Jesus didn't do it. Didn't stone
Well,
nobody.
it's not in
So,
the stories that he did it, but he certainly advocated for it.
well, I don't know. You
That's
can't
just as bad, in my
know that.
opinion.
You don't
Hey,
know
I might
that.
have never executed
How do you
anybody,
know?
you know what I'm saying? But if
How do
I'm
you know he
enabling,
advocated for that though? How do you know he advocated for that?
he says it. He calls them hypocrites for breaking the commands of God. He says you have to keep these commands. He's literally saying to do it, and he's accusing them of not doing it.
Could that be a misinterpretation on your behalf, or do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what.
What are
Let's
you
just
reading
read
out
it.
of?
It's only a few verses here. Let's just read it real quick. You can tell
All
me
right,
if it's confusing.
what are you reading out of?
Matthew chapter 15. We'll read like verse 1 through 7.
Get my Bible out.
Only take a second. It says, Then the Pharisees and scribes came to Jesus from Jerusalem and said, Why do your disciples break the tradition of the elders? For they do not wash their hands before they eat. So the Pharisees had just came to Jesus and they said, Why are you breaking the tradition of the elders? They're not washing their hands. So he answered them, And why do you break the commandment of God for the sake of your tradition? For God said, Honor your father and your mother, and whoever speaks evil of father and mother must surely die. But you say, whoever tells father and mother, whatever support you might have had from me is given to God, then that person need not honor the father. For the sake of your tradition, you nullify the word of God, you hypocrites. Isaiah prophesied rightly about you when he said, then it goes on to verse 8.
Where's the part where
was that confusing?
Well, I'm trying to think of the part where he said somewhere it says he stoned to stone the children if they.
Here, I'll read it again. For God said, Honor your father and your mother, and whoever speaks evil of father and mother must surely die. And the verse right before that says, Why do you break the commandment of God for the sake of your tradition? So he's accusing them of breaking a commandment, right?
Okay. That's interesting. I'd like to take that and figure out what that means. Honestly, man, that's what's wild. So
is it not painfully obvious what it means?
It could be. You could be
Don't
right.
you,
What's
I mean,
I got to know more though.
Just
I
break
don't
it
know
down.
enough
Just
to
break it down
comment
real
on
simply. It says, "Why do you break the commandment?" So he's accusing them of breaking the commandment, right?
Yeah. Well, what
the commandment says
Matthew 14,
Matthew 15, verse 1 through 7.
15, 1 through 7. Okay, I'm gonna write that down and I'm gonna try to get some answers on that, man, because that's I got to know, especially if somebody's.
Well, thanks for at least being concerned about it, because a whole lot of people don't seem to be. So I appreciate you personally.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I appreciate you too, man. And I think we got we got a good discussion here that we had. So
yeah,
you can move on if you like.
It's been a weird day like that the last few guests. thanks for coming though. But hey, if you read it and it does scare you and changes something about you, come back and tell us about it, okay?
For sure. Have a good one, man.
You too, buddy. What? I had like 3 decent guests in a row. Like, how's this? Like, what? Damn. Damn. Hey, I gotta give him a W, man. Like, I'm impressed he's even concerned about it. It's like that's really ideally that's how pretty much every one of these conversations should theoretically go, but almost none of them actually do, which is wild. All right, so the queue is still slim. Let's keep it rolling here. The queue is still slammed. Let's keep it rolling her. Who's next? Cosmic Warrior. By the way, I'm kind of on vacation sort of next week. But maybe I can do some longer lives. But at the end of the week, I'm going to NanoCon, and I will be hanging out with the likes of Matt Deloney and Forrest Griffin. That's right. Be jealous. It's going to be awesome. We'll do some lives from down there. I don't know. I need to think of something. The time's coming up quick. But yeah, I'm just chilling. Got a shitload of yard work and stuff to do. But cramming some Hebrew studies. which I really need to do. This last part confused the living shit out of me. And not a whole lot else besides that. Shit, what is happening here? Did I say Forrest Griffin? I don't think so. I'm a Forrest Griffin fan, though.
Yo, what up, Abe?
Hey, what's
Hey,
up,
buddy?
man? Christian?
No. I know you're looking for ops, so I'll be real quick, dude. I'm gonna DM you, man. There's a guy named Robert Mortem. He hosts a live on TikTok called True Devil Worship. It's not the Christian devil or anything. He's a pantheistic Satanist. I think you guys should do
Oh,
a
yeah, I
collab.
know who you're talking about. He's always got red on the screen when he goes
Yeah,
live.
dude, he is so knowledgeable, man. I think you guys would have some good
Yeah, he
interacting.
seems cool. Yeah, I
He's
like the
cool.
way he sets up his screen and
Yeah, dude,
everything. It's
it
dope as
triggered,
fuck, man.
bro. It triggers so many freaking Christians, man. It cracks me up, and
Oh, I bet.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've been deconstructing for about a year, and like he's just an awesome guy, man. So I'm gonna shoot you a DM. I think if you guys did a little collaboration or just popped up on his channel once in a while, man, it would make some good discussions.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I dig that
But
shit.
but I love you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
Have a good one, man. Thank you so much.
Later,
I
pal.
appreciate you. Thanks for saying so. As y'all know, I got a couple seconds if folks want to come up and tell me how cool I am. Don't forget their shit. But so what was I saying? Oh yeah, the NanoCon coming up. It's going to be dope as fuck. This will be my third year going, man. Hanging out with Godless. We'll get to see him, and KC's gonna be there. Jesus Unfollower's gonna be there. I think it's gonna be dope, man. Seth Andrews is usually there. I can't remember if he was on the thing this time or not. Let's see. Infexus. Infexus, you there?
Hey, Abe, how's it going, brother?
What's up, man?
I'm not an op. I love what you do, man. I was just coming up to ask, can we get a mod in the comments? We've been having a bunch of problems with spammers and all kinds of shit, and I don't see any mods.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I actually tell the mods don't worry about shit. So, okay, let me explain it like this. I actually looked into this, and it turns out the spam comments, while very annoying, they actually help your algorithm a lot because it counts them like as regular comments. But
It does. It makes it tough for us to read them
yeah, I got you.
because we can't follow them. And there was somebody in here earlier talking about how black people were like a natural thing against humans, and they desperately needed to be thrown out.
Oh, if they were just saying awful shit, yeah, they definitely get to stay. I mean,
Yeah. You know, that was happening earlier, and I didn't see any mods. I just figured I'd pop up, man.
Yeah, usually if I see like a crazy spam, I'll knock them out after a little while if it gets real annoying. But I should do better myself at keeping an eye on comments. But I have a one-track mind and I can't.
Oh, hey, no, man, you're fighting the good fight up here, brother. You got it all.
I do apologize for that. I do apologize.
Nah, man, you're all good, brother. I'll go ahead and hop down and see if you can get some more op.
No worries, man. Yes, I do understand it's annoying as fuck, and some people are horrible, and I agree they're horrible. And sometimes I will kick horrible people, but for the most part, that is kind of the point of the channel, is to expose the awful shit that Christians say. So honestly, the more awful shit they're saying like that, the better for real, because I mean, other people are saying it. But at the same time, I have been so disgusted with some people that I will just kick them the fuck out of here. You know. But yeah, I actively tell the mods don't take too much of an active role unless somebody's just being way, like off the charts. Like, unreasonable or totally crazy in the whatever. But yeah, I do apologize for that if it's annoying. But I'm walking a fine line there. Is the best way I could explain it. Like, with bad words and spamming. We can get spamming out of here if I get something going on. We can definitely mute spammers. That's for sure. All right. Let's see. Where are we at here? An hour and 40 minutes, man. Who is it? Block. And let's Let's see. Damn, there's a lot of comments. Is it spam? Golly, I don't even see that name. Where are we at here? Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows I don't have a bunch of. I don't really care for mods unless it's just something that's, or I care for the mods, but the moderation down here is almost minimal to me. Unless it's just, like I said, totally out of control. Just let them say they're awful shit, or whatever. Yeah, I apologize though. Yeah, I don't run I don't know. I just don't run a live like a lot of people do. Like I don't push. Y'all keep tapping that screen. Tap, 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 tap. Keep tapping. Tap, tap. Like I just don't dig it, man. I don't like. People do it anyway. Like, why do I need to usher people to fucking, like, I mean, the generous folks up in here don't have to demand this stuff. Like, I just don't. I don't know. It's just not important to me to sit here and push people like, keep commenting, keep tapping, share, likes, and follows. And, like, everybody's generous, man. You don't have to freaking. I don't even have to say nothing. Like, and I, for real, I don't even like saying anything about that because I don't feel. Actually, it's kind of weird now that I think about it. Like, it don't bother me when anyone else does it. I actually don't mind. It reminds me sometimes. So maybe it is. I don't know how to take that. Never mind. Maybe I didn't think of that more. I heard a song. I don't know what that was, but thank you. If that was a song, thank you. That was awesome. Appreciate that. But yeah, maybe I should give that some more thought, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I don't feel like I have to. Like, I haven't said a word about taps and likes, and I got 44,000 fucking likes. I mean, why do I need to sit here and dull the chat with tap, tappity, tap, 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 tap away like Michael Jackson taps that stage with them tap shoes on the Madison Square Gardens. All right, anyway, the queue is emptied out now. Shit. All right, the queue is open for the first time today. So we're gonna do the regular thing. I'm gonna give it a minute here. If we get somebody else, we'll get somebody else. If not, I'm gonna turn it over to the other shows for the rest of the day. And golly, I got about 5 hours at least worth of yard shit I got to do. But anyway, we'll give it a minute. See if we get somebody else to talk to. If not, we'll call it a day. It's been almost 2 hours, which is about my limit anyway. But yeah, y'all tap that screen. Tap, tap away. Throw a comment. Share and tap. Shares and taps. Y'all share and tap it. Give me gifts. Where's the gifts? Y'all ain't gifting me enough. We need more roses. Where's those dragons? We need dragons. Why ain't y'all gifting me dragons? We need dragons, y'all. Y'all tap the screen and comment. Make sure you're tapping and commenting, y'all. Oh, and tap and comment. I'm just kidding. I can't even do it, man. It's not. I can't do it. I don't even think about it most of the time anyway. I'm a bad TikToker. I'm sorry. I'm a bad TikToker. I don't moderate. I don't tell people to do the shit that actually helps the channel. I just argue with folks. Hey, something's working though. I still get like audience growing somehow or another. Like I said, y'all are so fucking cool. Y'all are so beautiful. Y'all are so generous. I don't even have to crack these things out, man. I don't even have to. And it's awesome. I appreciate y'all. And by the way, I do appreciate very much all the taps and comments and shares and reposts. Like I said, I really do, man. And even if you don't do that, I appreciate you just being here. It's greatly appreciated if you just hang out. I don't care if you touch the screen one time. But if you do, I appreciate that. And gifts definitely are just, they're the best way to help the channel, even though TikTok definitely keeps most of that gift. It does help the channel because coincidentally, if you give TikTok money, they tend to prioritize you. So that does help get us out there, if anything. But anyway, let's see. I Thank you guys. I appreciate you all so much. I'm glad y'all enjoy the content. I'm glad y'all enjoy me getting a damn headache every morning listening to this. Listen to these crazy people out here. Actually, today's been rather refreshing, though. I mean, the last 3 guests have actually been pretty cool. I really wish that, like, every conversation went like those, man. Like, it'd be a lot easier on mental health and shit. Then again, if everybody talked like that, I probably wouldn't be here anyway. So I guess we're stuck, aren't we? I guess we're stuck. Anyway, one's in the chat if you saw me on Mezzo's channel the other day. Put a 1 in the chat if you saw me, and a 2 if you didn't. I'm going to need you to comment this one, though. Please tell me somebody witnessed that beauty. Oh, hell yeah. So at least a couple people saw it. Sweet. That's kind of what I was looking for there. So here's what was amazing about that. So they were talking to a guy, Joel and Mezzo, by the way. We're talking to a guy, and he had talked to me previously, and I had come up a few times in the conversation. Anyway, Joel and Mezzo know me a little bit. Anyway, Joel feels the need to throw it out there. He says, okay. They're talking to the guest, by the way. So Joel says, so, who did this better? Who made God look worse? Was it us or apostate ape? And not only did the guest, he wasn't just like, he wasn't like, you know, I don't know, maybe ape was a little better. My man, my dog, he was like, oh, no. Ape did it better. So yeah, when I was up on the, Mezzo actually invited me up and I jumped on the stage for a second. And I was like, ha ha ha. Got to throw him a little love, but it was a really cool, really awesome experience. Couldn't have went much better than that. And you heard it from the Christian's mouth. The ape did it better. The ape did it better. Honestly, though, I think Mezzo and Joel should be the most fucking famous debaters on the planet by far. Honestly, like, my God, like, I'm telling you, when you add comedic genius like they do, like, that shit is on another fucking level, like, for real. Like, they're just fucking brilliant. Like, Justin's, like, the master when it comes to, like, biblical knowledge and stuff like that. Like, Justin's probably number 1. But as far as just, like, wit and humor and entertainment and, like, everything rolled into one, Mezzo and Joel's far and away, they should be the most famous debaters on the planet by far. No, I don't know Ian personally. I've never talked to him. I've never talked to Justin either, actually. But I have been a member of the Kraken Crew Elite for like 2 damned years now. So Justin should know me. I've been giving him $5 a month for 2 goddamn years. He should know me. I don't think he does, though. Thinker does know me. I've talked to Thinker a couple times. All right, let's see what we got against it. Jared knows me. He's got a new book based on me, so that's pretty awesome. I'll be mentioning that, so go look out for that too.
Hello.
Hey, guest, are you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I am. The title is "Prove Me Wrong."
Yeah, what you want to
So,
talk about on the topic?
Yeah, I just want to try to prove you wrong.
Yeah,
because I'm a Christian.
Cool.
So, I go to church. I meet other Christians. I'm doing that all my life. And they've never taught me to do wrong. In fact, everything that I've been taught in church is to be a good person. Now, I know you've been going along with Old Testament and other things that I probably couldn't answer for you either. But those things there, I look at as nobody actually knows the context or the circumstances that happen in the times of antiquity. All I can do is my perspective in today of what I live in. And all of these people that I go to church with, I think that you used to be a Christian. I don't know if I heard that correctly before, and that you became apostate.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you would be, when you went to church, what did they teach you there? Not the stuff that you read in the Bible that you concluded yourself that this isn't right, like a slavery, killing babies, and all this other stuff. Did they teach you
Yeah,
those things?
they didn't teach slavery. No,
I didn't
no,
think
they
so
didn't.
either. When,
Yeah, they were
in,
fine. Like, I'm not here arguing that every Christian's an awful person. I'm from North Alabama, man. Pretty much every person I know is a Christian, and there's plenty of them that are just fine. I have no issue at all with
yeah,
most
but
of
your
them.
title is
Most of them
America
don't
would
even
be
know
better
slavery's
off
in
without
there. You know what I mean?
Christianity.
Yeah, it would.
In my perspective, though, this is where I'm trying to prove you wrong from my perspective, my personal experience.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, because
No,
I've been wrong about
like
a
I said,
lot of
I
stuff
didn't
that
have.
I read
Right. Well, I'm just saying
that
I
I
didn't
don't
have a bad
understand.
experience at church or think they was teaching bad
Yeah,
stuff.
but
So.
that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not just from my church. From many churches that I've visited in my lifetime, none of them has ever taught me to do the wrong thing. They've taught me to become a better person. And I applaud that. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, that's why I believe America is better with Christianity. That's all I wanted to say. And you can take that as you want, but that's where I want to prove you wrong because of my personal testimony. Christianity changed my life. I was a rotten thug. I should have been kicked out of America, but Christianity saved me and turned my life around and made
So
me a
you would
better
still be a
person.
rotten thug if you wouldn't have got Christianity?
I would have been dead already. You wouldn't be talking to me right now. But God and Jesus, what he did on the cross, saved me from sin, my disgusting, ugly sin. And no matter what anybody else has told me before, I would have went straight into my grave with those nasty sins without any remedy. There is no remedy for sin, but the Bible gives the one solution. That's why I believe it. And again, like I said, that's all subjective,
Yeah,
but my
the question
personal
is, and
experience,
one of my main concerns is, what exactly is a sin?
what is missing the mark. It's not
It's
doing
breaking the law, according to John.
well, according to what I know from what I've read.
So is John wrong?
Sin is anything apart from God's righteousness. So that means we all sin. Every human being that's ever lived on earth has sinned. So that's why I believe.
So you don't agree with John?
I don't know what John has said or
Well,
how
John says
people
sin is breaking the law. He says sin
or
is
how
transgression
people
of the law.
interpret.
And he
Because
says if you're
well,
a
let me ask
Christian
you
and you
this.
still, well, hold on, can I finish? He's saying sin is lawlessness, it's breaking the law. And he
That's
also
right.
says that if you know God and abide in God and God abides in you, like Jesus said would happen, then you do not sin. He said if you continue in sin as a Christian, then you have neither seen God nor known him, and you are of the devil.
That's fine. Then I'm of
So
the
do you
devil.
agree with that, or?
I agree with my understanding of the Bible because many people can interpret it wrong. You yourself, as a human being, can interpret any text wrong.
Did I interpret that wrong?
No matter if it's at face value.
Well, am I wrong?
There's a
about
lot
it?
of things that you can't just take with face value because there's other scriptures in the Bible that says God forgives all sin except for one, blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. Is it not right?
Yeah, but the
How
whole
do you
point is
reconcile
that
those
once you
two?
come to know God, sin is
Yeah, but
supposed to stop
let me
because
ask you
then
that. How
God
do you
abides in you. And since God is in you, you can't sin anymore because God's seed is in you.
Well, it also says in the Bible that if I confess that I have no sin, I'm a liar, doesn't it? How do you
Yeah,
reconcile the
but
two?
no, that's not a contradiction. Admitting you're a sinner is part of the deal. You're supposed to repent. But after you repent
That's
and you
not
have
how
been
I interpret
enlightened,
it. That's how
that's
you
what it
interpret it.
says. Yeah, that's what it
Okay, that's
says.
what it says, but there's an interpretation to the Word of God. It doesn't matter what it just says. Isn't there hyperbole in the Word of God?
Sometimes.
Isn't there, what?
Sometimes. It's not all hyperbole.
Oh, no, I didn't say it's all. There's a lot of
I'm saying we
analogies
can
there.
know through the
Jesus
context.
makes a
Like
lot of
Matthew
stories
even
that's
says,
not
he
face
says, let the
value.
reader understand. Like this is written so you can understand it.
Yeah, and that's the way I understand it. I understand it differently than you.
Well, I mean, what when it says
Mike,
sin is
getting back to my point,
lawlessness,
let's
what does
forget
that
about.
mean, though?
Okay, let's forget about that. I'm just trying to prove you wrong about Christianity, not about what the word says or how you interpret it or how I interpret it. I want you to be honest with yourself. In church, they don't preach about killing babies or slavery. In fact, they do quite the opposite.
Sir, you're tragically mistaken. I'm sure you might not have never been to a church that teaches bad stuff.
I've
but
been to
if you're
several
going to
hundred
argue that all the
churches.
churches out there are fine, then you're just
I
in
didn't say
denial or
all of the
something. I don't know.
churches.
Well,
There is
so
some
you're
corrupt
acknowledging
churches.
there's bad churches out there, right?
There are bad churches out there.
Okay, so just because you haven't been to one doesn't mean they're not out there, right?
So is Christianity going to be bad if just 1 out of 1,000,000 churches is bad?
Is that what we're talking about? 1 out of 1,000,000?
Well, I don't know the numbers. I can just tell you from my personal
Well, I
experience.
do know
You-
the numbers.
You don't
I
know the
how many
numbers
people
either.
I talk to.
No, you do
Yes, I
not.
do. I know how
Now
many.
you're making
I know
stuff
my
up.
personal experience, sir. I
Tell
know
it.
my personal experience.
Tell your personal experience.
Go to my page and I have clip after clip of my personal experience. People come up here and advocating that Jesus was perfectly fine and saying the Pharisees should have stoned their children to
No,
death.
no.
Slavery's
You-
okay. That
We're
God
talking
was
about
just
churches.
by setting innocent children on fire. I'm talking about
Now
biblical
you're going back to
doctrine,
the argument about the
Christianity.
scriptures and interpretation. I'm talking about your personal
I'm
experience.
talking about Christianity, not
I am
Christians.
too.
Christianity.
Let's talk about the church that you attended. Be honest.
The church was fine. I didn't have a problem
That's
with
exactly
the church.
what I'm telling you.
And I'm telling you that there's
That
still
was
a whole
a
lot of
Christian
problems out
church, wasn't it?
there.
That was a Christian church, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's exactly my point.
And that doesn't diminish the fact that there are a whole bunch of Christians out there who are trying to repeal free people's freedoms and bomb other countries and bring back manifesting destiny and biblical slavery. This is all looming over us right now. Just denying it's no good, man.
Look, I'll tell you my perspective about all that. There are bad churches, and the Bible even states that. There are quote unquote bad Christians who I would assume aren't even Christian at all, but they claim to be. Yeah, I don't advocate for those people either. But for the church and for what I've seen, it's a very good thing in America for me. And if anybody else can attest to that, I would say they would agree with me too.
Well,
And
I mean,
if you
that's
go,
fine if you agree, but
well,
if
I'm
you're
just
going
trying
to
to.
stand
I'm just
by
addressing
and
the
let them erode
title.
other people's freedoms, including
I know, but
yours,
I'm
then
just
it's still worse
addressing.
for America.
Yeah, but I'm just addressing your.
Well, yeah,
your
but you
title
can't
there.
disprove my topic just by saying, from my experience, everybody's fine.
No, I'm asking for your experience. In fact, I ask anybody's
That's
experience.
what I'm
that comes
saying.
up.
Like, there's Christians right now trying to bring back slavery. They're passing mandating Bible readings in school.
They're not
Ten
Christians,
Commandments in classroom. Yes, they are. That's what the Bible
Because
says to do.
you're supposed to follow
They're
Jesus.
the ones doing it right.
Okay, but you're supposed to follow Jesus, right? If you're a Christian.
Yeah, but what do you think Jesus says?
Did he not say in the Word that there's no slavery or free anymore?
No, that's
In him?
Paul, and he says, "In the eyes of God, there's no slavery or slave or free or male or female."
Okay, but he's referring to Christ, right?
Yeah. No, he's referring to God. He's saying, "In the eyes of God, there's neither free nor slave, nor male nor female."
What does that mean to you? You know what it means to me? There is
It's
no
just
slavery.
saying, in the eyes of God, is there male and female?
That's talking about value, isn't it?
Is there male and female?
There is male and female.
Okay, then that doesn't mean slavery stopped either.
Are
It
they
says, in the
different
eyes
in
of
value?
God,
Wait.
it
Are
says
they
there is
different in
neither
value?
slave nor free, nor male nor
That's right.
female.
So how do you
Male and
equate that?
female didn't go away, did it?
Now how does that passage make sense then?
It's saying in the eyes of God, there's no social class. It's not saying you can't have slaves.
That's right.
That's all the Bible says
there's
is you
no-
can have slaves.
No, because look at history of not even talking about Christians or Christianity. The history of mankind was there was a difference between males and females, slaves and free,
Yeah, I know.
right? It was talking about value, was it not?
I know that. Yeah, and it values women
equating-
less than men. It says you can have slaves.
We are all
It
equal
says
in
you can
in
beat them.
God's
It says you
eyes.
can sell your daughter as a slave. Jesus tells all
I don't know
kinds
about
of
all that.
stories.
Yeah, I
using
don't know about all
slaves as an
that. But I'm
example.
telling you what
Well, it
I was
says it.
taught in the church by other Christians. They never taught me about like, oh, well, you can do
They never
this now.
taught you the Bible.
They never taught me to enslave people. In fact, they did the
Well,
opposite.
well,
They
God
never
says
taught
you
me
can.
to kill babies.
It is not a sin in the eyes of God
In
to
fact,
own another
they're more
person's
about
property and beat them.
how can they teach me about like being against abortion if, on the other hand, they want me to kill babies? It doesn't make sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense, and that's why this religion needs to go. Is
That's
because
why
Christians
you have to
say,
have
as
the right
hold on,
interpretation.
let me speak. Hold on.
Yeah,
Christians would say, as Christians, we're against abortion, right?
that's right.
But I can read you 10 verses right now where God himself orders and sometimes does the deed himself, murders living babies, has their brains bashed out, has them put to the sword, has pregnant women ripped open and raped.
I don't know about all that.
I can read it to you. It's not a mystery.
I've read the Bible before, over and over.
Did you miss
But I
that
don't
part?
know about your interpretation of those things, because for one,
does it say does he say to do those things?
Wait, hold
or
on a
not?
second. Let me finish. For one, you didn't live back then. You don't know the context of everything.
Yes, I do. I can read the biblical Hebrew. I know the context. It
No,
tells
you
you the
didn't
context.
live back
It tells
then.
you
You
why
cannot
these
know
things
the
are happening.
context.
It says why God is mad. It says why he's doing this. It tells you. It's not a mystery.
Yeah, I know. God, to me, okay, hear me out. God is sovereign. He can kill babies. I don't care what he does. And he can
You
use
don't
man
care
to
that
do
God
it.
kills babies. Really?
I care about why he does things. And if I don't
And why
know-
did he order, just
Let
for
me-
example,
let me
why
finish.
did he order
Let me
the
finish.
baby's brains be
Let me
bashed
finish.
out in
If
Isaiah
I don't know
13?
why he does something,
It tells you why.
no, I don't know why he did that, because I didn't live back then.
Well, you probably
Just like
didn't
in
read it
modern
because it tells
warfare.
you why.
Listen, just like in modern warfare, do you accept modern warfare? Is there a need for war?
No.
Because innocent lives are killed there too.
Sure ain't MAGA, no need for a MAGA
Right?
war. He promised it wouldn't happen, is there?
Without
So that's
war,
Christians
you wouldn't have the
starting wars
freedom
out
that
here.
me and you are having right now in this conversation. Is that not
Well,
true?
then God's just another failure.
No, this wasn't God. This was our wars. American
I'm
wars.
talking about God. I'm talking about God killing
I'm
babies.
talking about war.
I'm talking about God.
God creates war, doesn't he?
Yeah, he says you can take women
So
and
is war
children as
justified
captives in
for
war.
killing innocent life? Let me ask you that.
God says you can do it.
I just asked you a question. If that be
And
the
I'm
case,
saying, yeah, that's my
is
answer.
war,
Yes.
is war
According
justified?
to God, yes.
According
According
to
to
God.
God, you
No,
can
I'm
go
saying,
to war. You can
according
take
to you-
women and children as
No,
captives
no.
in war.
I'm
If you
asking
think
you.
they're attractive, you can make them
Forget
marry
about
you.
that, man. You're avoiding the question. Is war justified?
I'm avoiding the question. You've been avoiding me asking you questions for the last 5 minutes now.
No, I haven't.
You haven't answered a single question I've asked you. You've dodged and went on to another point. I'm talking
No, I
about
did-
God murdering babies, sir. And I asked you 5 minutes ago, what is the context in Isaiah 13 of him ordering that
I know
babies'
about
brains
that.
be bashed out and women be raped?
Yeah, I told you my answer. I'll repeat it.
What's the?
I didn't live back then. I don't know the context. Okay. Yeah.
That's what
my
I'm
answer.
saying.
So
It's-
that's my answer. So let's
so
move
you're
on to
saying
my
it's
question.
a mystery.
Let's
Well,
move
hold on.
on.
So you're saying
to my
it's a
question, because
mystery.
it'll answer
Hold
what
on.
you
No,
just
no, no, no.
questioned.
You've not
will.
satisfied mine yet. No, you've not satisfied mine yet.
I
and then you
can't
can ask your
satisfy you,
question.
but that's my
I can
answer.
satisfy it,
I've
but I
heard
want you to understand that just because you don't know the
You
reason
can't even
doesn't
answer me
mean
because
it's
you
not
know
in the
it will
text.
answer your own question.
You can't answer.
My
You're the one dodging
question
here.
will answer. I just
You're
answered
the
it.
one dodging here. No, you
No,
didn't.
I answered it. And the people
I
in the
told
comments
you I'm
can tell
not
you,
finished
I
with
just
my
answered
point.
it.
And I told you I'm not finished making my point.
You told me
It
I didn't answer your
says
question, and
why
I just
he
answered
orders
it.
Babylon destroyed.
Yeah. Why did he do it? Why?
Is it a mystery, or does it tell you why he did it?
It's a mystery to me, so please explain it to me.
Okay, well, I will explain it to you then. And it's not a mystery because he orders Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, to destroy Jerusalem. He makes the Israelites eat their own children in the siege because they have stopped keeping his laws. So he uses Nebuchadnezzar to come and destroy Jerusalem and enslave the Israelites. And after a 70-year period, he punishes and destroys Babylon for having been used to destroy Jerusalem. That's what the Bible says.
No, I don't think it says that.
Okay, you want me to read it to you?
I think that's the way you interpret it.
You want me to read it to you, and you can tell me if I'm
No,
getting it
I've
wrong?
already read the Bible. Why did?
Well,
why
what
did,
am I
why
getting
did,
wrong then? If you know what
why
I'm
did
talking
God
about, tell
have
me how I'm wrong.
Jerusalem-
Tell me how I'm
why
taking
did-
that out of context.
Wait. Why did God have the Israelites be conquered by the Babylonians? Tell me that.
Because they stopped keeping his law.
That's right.
Yeah, he gets
That's
pissed every time people stop keeping his law, and he makes them eat their own children. He enslaves them.
No. He didn't make anybody
And
eat their own children.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. Read me the
I
scripture.
thought you said you've read the Bible.
I have. Read that to me. Where did you
So
say
when I
that?
read it to you and it says exactly what I'm saying, it says clearly, you're going to admit you're wrong, right?
I will, yeah.
Okay, Jeremiah
Read
19. This is just
Yeah.
one of the. Actually, I'll tell you
I
what.
know
let's
the
back
scripture.
up
Go
just a
ahead.
tad.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm going to read the warning that he gives them for stopping keeping the law.
I'm
and
going
then
to explain to
read
you
what
that
actually
passage after
happened.
you read it to me. Okay, go ahead.
All right, I will. Let me get up here. Where's it at here? All right. In Leviticus 26, this is the warning he gives. He says, if you do not keep this law, this is what's going to happen to you. This is part of it anyway. And it says, but if despite this, you still disobey me and continue hostile to me, I will continue hostile to you in fury. I in turn will punish you myself sevenfold for your sins. You shall eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters. This is part of the warning he gave them in Leviticus, right? And Deuteronomy.
Yeah,
He
that's
warned
right.
them he was
Let
gonna
me
make
let me
them-
explain to you. Okay, let me explain
Well,
to you.
hold
what that
on, hold
means.
on. Let me finish first, and then
No,
you
you
can
just
explain
read it.
Let me-
Okay, go ahead. Keep
I
reading.
didn't read it. I'm only halfway done. That was the
Go ahead.
warning,
Okay, that's fine. Go
right?
ahead.
He warned them that they were going to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, right?
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
All right. So in Jeremiah 19, he actually decrees and proclamates this decree on them. In Jeremiah 19, verse 8, it says, and I will make this city a horror, a thing to be hissed at, and everyone who passes by it will be horrified and will hiss because of all of its disasters. And I will make them eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and all shall eat the flesh of their neighbors in the siege, and in the distress with which their enemies and those who seek their life afflict them. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I am now bringing upon this city and all upon its towns all the disasters that I have pronounced against it. And then he does it. And
That's
there's
right.
an inside account of this happening in Lamentations where it says the women are eating the children. So he literally
Yeah.
makes them eat their own children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then let me explain to you. Let me explain to you
Okay.
how I look at that passage.
All right, go ahead. Yes, please.
Knowing how decrepit they became. You know, there's a consequence to sin, and whether God says He made it happen or whatever. You know, if you read the history, if you want to go with the history of what those people did, His people.
Yep. Yep.
So why did they do that? The eating, because they were starving. They were in such a state to starve.
Yeah, he made it
That they-
happen. He made them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He.
So you're
showed
saying
them-
God was justified in making them eat their children for brunch?
He was justified
Little-
by allowing the
Israelite
consequences.
baby kebabs.
No, they didn't have to go through that. They didn't have to go
I know.
through
He
that.
yeah, I agree. He warned them. Yeah, he said.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And so, are you saying to me that if somebody doesn't do what's right, that they don't go through any consequences?
Are you saying it's okay for the consequence to be eating your children?
Well, before you answer that, guest, I just want to pause for a second and make sure that we don't pass this by. So I was listening pretty carefully. You said, no, God did not make them do that. Do you remember that?
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
That's
you
exactly
do remember
right.
that. Great. So then he read it to you. And then you said, yeah, he did make them do that. Do you remember that?
Okay, so yeah, I get
Okay,
your
no.
point.
I just need a yes or no. So you do remember that?
Yeah, I'll answer
Okay,
this.
perfect.
Look, look, look,
So
look, look.
you
Listen,
no
listen
no
to
no
me.
no no no
Listen to me, Joshua.
guest listen.
I
Listening,
will
hey,
say yes
listening
to everything
ears.
that you're saying
Listening ears.
because
Then say yes to putting on your listening ears. Okay? So, you said he didn't say that. He didn't make them do that. And then Abe said, yes, he did. And if I read it to you, will you say, yes, you're right. He did say that. So now what I need you to do before we move on is to be a humble human being. Remember, do that stuff that the church told you to do, the right thing. Be a humble person and say, I was wrong. Abe, you were right. I was arrogant, thought I knew everything. And it turns out that I didn't know this. And instead of being slimy and just trying to move past it, I want you to just own that. Okay? So let's go ahead.
Please.
hello.
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm talking to Joshua. Are you a
Yeah, no.
father? Do you have kids?
No. That doesn't sound like what good Christians are
No,
supposed to
okay,
do.
stop going
Taught
into what
by the
you're assuming.
church. Yeah.
I'm
Taught by
asking
the
you a question.
church, right? You're doing the right thing. I'm just going to go ahead and mute you again since you don't know how to control yourself, right? I want you, the next thing that comes out of your mouth is, I'm sorry, Ape. I was wrong. Okay? Go ahead and try it.
Sent you an invite to unmute. You gotta unmute yourself there, I guess.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, since you won't answer my question, let's go back to our conversation here.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Ape. Do you need me to walk you through it?
Look, can you mute him? Because
I'm
I answered his
sorry,
question.
Ape. Let's
I answered
try
his
it. Let's
question.
try
He's
it
not answering
together.
mine.
Let's try it together.
Now
You just
he's
The
say,
being
point was
I'm
facetious.
this: you
Now he's
never
being
sorry,
admitted you were
facetious.
Ape.
wrong.
He's not being rational. He's being
I'm
facetious.
sorry,
Can you mute
Ape.
him, please?
I'm sorry, Ape.
You're not gonna. You see how
I'm
your live
sorry,
is not.
Ape.
This
I'm
is.
sorry, Ape. I know it's
He's my
hard for
co-host.
Christians to
I
do
can't mute.
this.
He's a moderator on the page. I can't.
Christians have such a tough
Look, can you?
time doing what Jesus said. I
Why do
get
you?
it.
Or why are you
That's
letting
why
this
I'm here
guy
to
keep
help you,
rambling?
sir. Let's preach it now. Come on.
Yeah, he's just trying to get you to admit you were
Sorry,
wrong.
Ape. I'm sorry,
That's why
Ape.
I'm saying I don't need to admit myself wrong.
Well, you were
Okay,
wrong, though,
so let's
weren't you?
move on from
I was
that.
wrong. I'm
But
sorry,
you were,
Ape.
though.
No, I wasn't.
I was
I'm
wrong.
trying to explain to you why. You
I'm
need to answer this
sorry, Ape.
question
I'm
first.
sorry, Ape.
Listen to
I'm
me.
sorry, Ape.
Okay, I'll tell
I
you what. Let
was
me mention.
wrong.
Just mute him. This
Well, I'm not
live
going
was
to mute him,
about
but
proving
hold
you
on.
wrong,
Listen, I'll
not
say
bringing
this.
your
Listen,
cronies on here to sit here and be facetious.
he's their co-host, and
I don't
his
think you
role
know
when
what
you talk.
Yeah, I'm
facetious
trying to
means.
prove you wrong, not him or
Okay.
whoever.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't think you
listen.
know what
Here's
facetious
what we'll
means,
do
and you
there.
certainly don't know
Here's
how to
what we'll do.
apologize.
This is what your
Here's what we'll
channel's
do
about.
moving forward. Listen,
You're
either
you're
prove
not
me
being.
wrong, and then say sorry. I didn't prove you wrong. But you can say you still got to say sorry, but you can say it after if you don't prove me wrong because you said
Why do I got
it
to
doesn't say
apologize
what
for
I say
anything?
it
This
said.
is not.
Right, you don't because you're a man, right? And because you're a Christian man,
We're
you're
having a
never wrong about
this
anything.
is supposed to
You're
be
never
a
wrong about
rational
anything.
debate.
I
Yeah,
So
but
know.
you're
I don't
not
know
And
what
actually
it's
you're
supposed
engaging.
to
just sitting
involve a
here.
humble Christian who apparently can't do the right
Yeah,
thing
Now
that
didn't
the
they
church
teach
taught him to
y'all
do.
to
wait,
admit when
wait.
you're wrong?
Wait, can you just mute him for because I can't even.
All right, here. I'm telling you, listen, this is what we're going to do. Go ahead and tell us your interpretation of him making them eat their kids, and then say you're sorry if you don't prove me wrong. How about that?
Okay, yeah. Just mute him for a second. So the reason why I asked him if he was a father and had children. Okay.
That's not proving anybody wrong. So look, you're going to have to pick one. You're going to have to say you're sorry, or you're going to have
This
to
live
prove
is
him
starting to
wrong.
turn into a joke. Okay.
I mean, you're kind
not
of
letting
just
me get my
showing how
point
your
across.
Christian
You're not going to let me get
training
my
is a
point
joke.
across.
You asking a question about children is not making a point. You need to make the
I'm
point.
not trying to ask any more questions. Just leave him muted. Okay.
Well, I'm muting myself, big guy.
Yeah, you want.
See, I know how to be a humble person.
Okay, let me finish
defers
talking.
to other people.
You're not going to let me finish.
So I'm
talking.
trying to model that for you.
Let me finish talking. Okay.
All right. Tell us why that didn't mean God made them eat their kids.
Okay, I am going to do that.
Israelite kid kebabs.
As a father with children, and when they get out of hand, I spank them. Which I guess that's wrong too. But
do you ever cook them for breakfast?
No, I spank them.
Oh, okay. Probably not talking about the same thing.
And then they tell me, why did you do that? Now, is it wrong if I told them you made me do that?
Hey, guest, I'm going to take your amazing analogy. I'm going to take your amazing analogy. That was me being facetious. Actually, it was probably me being sardonic, so that you know what those words mean. And I'm going to turn it back on you, okay? What if your kid came to you and said, you didn't tell me that I couldn't stay out past 11. And you said, yes, I did tell you that you couldn't stay out past 11. They said, no, you didn't. You didn't say that. And then you say, yes, I did. Here, let me play the recording for you. And you hit play and it says, don't stay out past 11. And they go, yeah, but when sons want to stay out late, and sometimes when recorders play, all right, what would you say to your son? Hey, buddy, just own that you were wrong. Right? Isn't that what you would say to him?
To be honest, I couldn't, or I didn't hear anything that you just said.
I know you didn't, because you're a piece of shit father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you are. So I'll repeat it because you didn't hear it.
That's my
I'll
response.
repeat it. Piece of shit
to
father.
What you just
Yeah,
read in
I'll
that
repeat
passage.
it so that you didn't. Yeah. So I'm going to repeat it because you're a piece of shit. So if your son argued with you about a point and got, a little uppity about it, and then you said, hey, it does say that. No, it doesn't. And then you showed him that it did, and he tried to slide past it, like it never even happened. I suspect that you would say, hey, buddy, to be a good person, to be like a humble person, people are going to respect you more if you can just own that you make mistakes. That's an important part of life. I think you need to say that you were wrong here, right? I think that's what you would do, right? I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt that you'd be a good dad here. So do you think that's what you would say to your son?
I mean, God might say that your son needs to be seasoned and deep fried for brunch.
Yeah, but it doesn't say that, Abe. It doesn't say that. And when you show me that it does, I'm going to become a petulant child. Talking about you, guest. Petulant child that can't find the unmute button.
Cowboy, you're still muted up. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
We're not really getting too far at this point, anyway.
Well, I had a kind of a different question for him that would kind of take it back a little bit and bring kind of back more towards the reason why specifically America would be better without religious people being in charge of anything. Cowboy, I want you to be able to respond to this, so please make sure that you can undo your
Oh,
mic.
wait. I just unmuted myself. I didn't know I muted myself, but go ahead.
Okay, so do you know who Mike Johnson is, right?
Mike Johnson. I don't know who Mike
Speaker of the
Johnson is.
House.
Speaker of the House.
Oh, is that the guy
Mike Johnson.
talking? Okay.
Yeah. So
No,
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson's the Speaker of the House.
Mike
That's
Johnson
you,
is the
right?
Speaker of the House.
Oh my God! Please don't.
Men out here telling on themselves. I swear.
The Speaker
Oh,
of the
Speaker
House
of the
of
House.
Representatives.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
do you think that he is right when he says that people that are advocating to ensure that everybody has the right to food and the right to housing are detestable? Do you think that he is right when he says that?
If everyone has food, yeah,
Right. Yeah. So there are a group of people out there that are trying to change the way our government works, and in that change of government, it would be people who would work to ensure that everybody had food and housing, access to food and housing, and it would help to kind of eliminate the wage gap between the massive top earners and the poor who are struggling to live and have decent lives in this country, while other people are have billions and billions of dollars and don't have and can just do whatever they want to with their lives, but they're not doing anything to actually help the people who have more issues with their lives. So there are
They
people
should
that
be
are
helping
advocating.
people the way God helped the Israelites and fed them during the siege.
So Mike Johnson.
No, not like that. No, not like that.
Are you asking me that question?
I'm saying Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House. He's one of the most powerful people in our country. He's also a staunch Christian. I live in his district. I've done work in the church that he goes to. But he is saying that the people that are advocating for this kind of idea are detestable. Do you think that that's okay?
Okay. Okay. You want me to answer that?
Yeah, I want you to answer.
Okay. My personal opinion about that. I don't know who Mike Johnson is. Forgive me. I should know who the Speaker of the House is, but I don't. I don't keep up with stuff like that. But what you said was, do I believe that people have a right to food and living? Is that what you're asking?
No, what I asked you is, do you think that it's okay that he believes that it's detestable that there are people out there that want to ensure that people have access to food and housing?
I believe.
Yes, we have to make sure people are fed the same way the Israelites were fed in the siege of Jerusalem in Jeremiah 19.
Okay, but you asked me, is it okay? I believe it's okay for anybody to believe whatever they want to believe, whether it's right or wrong. That's the freedom that they have here. That's what I believe. Now, going back to the food for yeah, I believe that people should have.
I'm not asking you. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to cut you off too much because you're not really answering my question. My question is, do you think that it's okay? It's not whether or not they have the right to have their own beliefs. Do you think that it's okay that this person thinks that people who are advocating to ensure that every child is fed, that every child has a house over their head, that everybody has access to health care, like that Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, one of the most powerful people in this country, who is a Christian, says that those people are detestable for their views.
Okay. My thoughts on that. So I don't know Mike Johnson. You say he's a Christian. I don't know if that's true or not. But what it is that he thinks, and he says it's detestable, just at face value of what you said, because I don't know the context of everything. Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Okay, well, he's a Christian, and he's one of the most powerful people in the world.
Well, there's all kinds of. Okay, let me address that real quick. There's all kinds of people that I personally know that claim to be Christian and are not. whether
do
they
you
He's
claim to
asking if
be
you
or
agree
not.
with him or not.
do you agree with? Do you think
I
that? Do
don't.
you think that?
With what
Do you
you
think that
just
this?
said. No, wait, hold on a second. With what you just said, and I don't like answering questions like that with just at face value because I don't know the
It's just a
context.
face value question. It's not
Okay,
a
this is my
trap.
face value answer. I don't agree with that.
Okay, good. That's
Yeah.
good. We're at least making a step forward. Okay, so
In your
there,
opinion, go ahead.
and so we're making a step forward here, and I think that that's a good thing. Okay, so um, people there. He is not the only one. There are lots and lots and lots of people like him within our government. Okay, that feel this way, and I get it. I understand what you're saying about like the average everyday Christian person probably is totally fine. I feel the same way about Muslims. The average everyday Muslim is completely fine. Like they're not a threat or a harm to anybody. But their government system that overrules them within their countries, their theocratic system that they have, is absolutely detestable and horrible in the way that they treat their citizens and erode the freedoms of their people. Right now, in our country, we have a vast majority of the people that are in power are Christians, and a lot of them are pushing for the erosion of our freedoms. Now, I know that you may think that that's probably, you may think that'll probably never happen, but the more these people continue in power and stay in power because the ultra rich want them to stay in power and push their agendas, the more and more we're going to see those erosions of our freedom until we're looking more like a Muslim country. And that right there is kind of
So
the
you
core of
have a
what Ape
problem.
is trying to get to.
Okay.
That's the core of what Ape is trying to get to. Not that Christians are bad. Not that the average everyday Joe is bad. It's that the institution itself and the way it is being portrayed within our country is bad, and it's going to get worse. That's
Yeah,
all
but
that he is trying
that's
to
what I'm
say
trying
here.
to. Okay, okay, that's okay. That's I'm glad you said that because maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe there are corrupt leaders in our government. I don't know. But what I do know is what you just said. There are many Christians that are good people. They do good in this country. And going back to the topic of this live, Christianity should not be removed from America. Now,
So nobody's
something
saying that it should be removed.
would be better. Okay, let me go with the exact title then. America would be better off without Christianity.
Yes, we as content creators, we put up these highly inflammatory statements to get people like you to come up and talk.
Okay, well, that's what I'm trying to prove my case here. Okay.
So, but
no, let me finish here.
Go ahead.
As a Christian, I don't believe in or I don't agree with corrupt government or corrupt leadership. So how do I combat that? Let me okay, let me finish. As a Christian, how do I respond to that? How do I change that? You know what I do?
Pray.
The first thing that I do.
Pray.
Is I pray for the country.
Okay, well that doesn't do anything.
I pray.
Let's take an active role.
Now, okay, yeah, I'm getting there. As an active role, here's what I do. I try my best to do good unto others. That's the second thing I do, actively.
Okay.
I know it's laughable and jokeable, but
do you vote?
Well, it's off the point, man. Like, well, how do you deal with Romans
it's
13?
Not off the point. Huh?
What do you think about Romans 13?
What does Romans 13 tell me?
It says you're to submit to governing authorities, and if you resist them, you will incur judgment because they're
I agree with that 100%.
Appointed by God.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. So
do you vote?
So by that, I follow the law. Listen to me. I follow the law. I'm an law-abiding citizen. That's how I fulfill that scripture. Okay.
By being subservient to governing authorities.
Yes.
Do you realize America wouldn't have been founded if Christians would have actually obeyed that, because they would have never rebelled against England.
I don't know about all that. I'm just
If
telling
you
you.
resist governing authorities, the governing
I don't know what
authorities
they
before
did.
America
Look,
rebelled was England.
again, I go back to like anything in the past is left up to interpretation. That this is what
I'm
you
saying right
interpret.
now, God appointed the government of corruption that we have right now.
God appoints the government
You're
and the
supposed
people
to submit to them.
Okay, so biblically speaking, like I said, I have to go from the biblical perspective, right?
Yeah.
He's appointed leaders in the past that have gotten corrupt too.
Why would God do that?
I don't know the whys of God. I'm just telling you, He's done that before.
He's appointed bad leaders?
Well, I'm just telling you my reasoning about it.
Yeah.
No, they weren't bad like King Saul. He wasn't bad when he was put into
What about
the
David?
first king of Israel. Huh?
What about David?
David?
Yeah.
David was a great king, wasn't he? Or at least that's what the Bible portrays.
I mean, he was probably an alright king, but like, what about him like raping Bathsheba and killing her husband, and then God killing his baby and raping 10 of his wives?
Yeah, he served severe consequences for that sin, didn't he?
Well, a whole bunch of innocent people did too.
That's true. That's right.
Yeah. Why do you think God would have 10 innocent women raped for something they didn't do?
Our sins don't just concern ourselves.
They do, according to God.
Consequences to other people. Just for instance, like a drunk mother.
Really?
But yeah, like a mother. Wouldn't you say when she's actively getting drunk while she's pregnant? Isn't there consequences to her baby?
Yeah. So this says, yet you say, why should not the son suffer for the iniquity of the father when the son has done what is lawful and right, and has been careful to observe all my statutes and commands? He shall surely live. The person who sins shall die. A child shall not suffer for the iniquity of the parent, nor a parent suffer for the iniquity of the child. The righteousness of the righteous shall be their own, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be their own. So why would God say every person's responsible for their own sin, and then have 10 innocent women raped for something they didn't do?
So yeah, and I don't understand. I've read that before. I don't understand the context of that or why or whatever. But I'm telling you,
God was pissed because David.
Let me finish here.
David committed adultery with Bathsheba. It tells you why.
Let me
it's not a mystery.
Here. When I go to church and they read that, they don't teach me to rape women and do all this other kind of stuff. Okay.
They're teaching you it's okay that God did it, though.
You're thinking right now.
They're teaching you okay that God did it. They're teaching you it's okay that God had this done.
No, they're not teaching me it's okay.
Okay, so you'll condemn God for this act of atrocity.
I don't condemn God for anything, but I'm
you
just
don't condemn God for having innocent women raped.
I don't condemn God at all. No.
Okay.
Well, no, not for having women, because I don't know.
Well, maybe in church they should have taught you to have some integrity.
Yeah, they do, and that's why I'm a.
Then how come you won't hold God accountable for having innocent women raped?
I don't know why he did anything of what you're talking about.
He did it because David committed adultery with Bathsheba, and David didn't get a scratch. God put away his sins.
We can go back to he allows people to do their evil.
He calls
as a consequence to sin.
He calls
just like going back to the eating the babies and everything. When you commit, okay, for instance, like he allows people to go through diseases, right? Horrible diseases because of
he's garbage. He doesn't deserve to be worshipped by anybody who with any integrity or honesty. This God is evil.
Okay, that's your opinion.
It's not an opinion. He's having innocent women raped. He is killing innocent children. He is having them set on fire. Innocent children.
He's killing. Okay,
so
you're going
back.
How
the hell does this religion not end right there?
Listen to me. You're going back to an argument where you're talking Old Testament.
It's still God doing these things.
It's still God too. Yeah, but in those times, I don't know the context or the culture or the colloquialism.
You keep saying context, but it tells you why he did it. It's not a mystery.
Cowboy, can I? There is no such thing as a point in time where having women raped is okay. Period. And if you
Especially innocent ones.
justify that based off of some kind of timeline, or that you can justify that for any reason whatsoever, that says a lot more about you than it does about us.
That's fine. Go ahead. But I can tell you what you can like you do that with the slavery argument, with all these other arguments. But there is an argument that people make that you guys are making where you add a lot of rhetoric in there. You don't know the context. You don't know the situation.
Do you believe
tell us what rhetoric and context we
when
got
the
wrong.
situation comes around to your personal lives, then you justify it.
Wait a minute. Let's get a little
You
bit
say
closer
we're
into
wrong.
history.
Now prove it. Prove that we're taking this out of context.
Do you believe that?
Because you did. I'm going to prove to you right now. Because you didn't live back then. You don't know what's going on back then.
Cowboy,
it doesn't matter. We have a book that says he did these things. We can read it now and judge the action today.
It does matter completely.
Cowboy, do you
think
that
you're saying 3,000 years ago it was okay to have
Listen to me.
innocent
Why
women
it does
raped?
matter? Why it does matter? It does matter because if what you're saying is true, then I should do those
it's in the
things.
book.
No, and I should approve of those things, but I don't. And you know why
You
I don't?
are approving of them. You're saying God was justified in doing these, and you're worshiping the deity who did these things.
I'm talking about in our society today, right now. I don't know.
I know you're worshiping a God who committed atrocities 3,000 years ago because you think now that he stopped having innocent women raped, he's worthy of worship for some reason, like he turned nice all of a sudden.
The way that you're talking about it and everything with the reasoning that you're using a modern day reasoning for that.
Let's get a little bit closer to
God
modern day.
himself says this stuff was bad in the Bible. Even back then, God says this is bad. But then he does the thing that he says was bad.
Cowboy, do you think that, because I want to get a little bit closer to us in history for a second, do you think that slavery in the antebellum South was okay?
Do I believe that what?
Slavery in the antebellum South was okay 150 years ago. 175.
Was it okay?
Was it okay? Yeah. Was it a good thing?
I don't believe like slavery in itself is a good thing, unless hear me out. Unless it's under the right context.
So what would have been? What's the right context for the antebellum South?
Okay, so you and I know what slavery is about, right? It's the ownership of another human being, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you would say in absolute any case, it's wrong, right? That's what you would say.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Okay, so.
But I don't want you to slip away from what I asked.
Let me. Okay, I won't. But let me finish. Let me finish. So I told you in the right context. Now the Lord Himself says, or not the Lord, but Paul, the apostle, would say, his purpose in life is to be a slave to Christ.
Oh God, here we go.
Now, see, now you're gonna
you
try
go to these weird sermons every time we ask you a question.
It's not weird. We're talking Bible. You can look it up.
Frustrating.
No,
we're asking you a question about slavery, though, and you're like, well, Jesus said we're
that term he uses. And
we're
you say
asking
you know
you about
Hebrew.
the institution of slavery.
It's the same term. It's the same term.
We're talking about the institution of slavery, not you deciding to be a slave to God. We're talking about people.
I'm talking about that institution. And when Paul said it, and he's using those terms of that institution that you're talking about, is that in the context that he's saying it? Is it wrong?
Okay, so I want to, like I said, you're starting to slip away from what I asked.
You're not answering my question. I just answered yours.
I asked you a question. And you did not directly answer it. You slept away from it. I asked you, do you think that slavery in the antebellum South was a good thing? This is a yes or no question.
It's not a yes or no question.
It is a yes or no question.
It should be.
No,
if it's not, you've learned some awful stuff
because,
in your church.
No, listen to me. I'm going to tell you my reasoning. and I know where you got. I've heard this argument before. The reasoning that I'm talking about is I'm trying to figure out that context because I don't know what happened back then. But
Owning people as property.
No, listen to me.
Context.
Because that didn't come from America in the first place.
It came from God.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't. Where did it come
Yes, it
from?
did.
American, the slavery back there that you're talking
It came
about.
from the Bible. The Bible.
Are we talking about the black African slaves?
Yes.
Okay, so do your
That's
research
what he
about
asked
that.
you. He said slavery in the
You know,
antebellum South.
Africa had slaves, and they sold those people, right?
Oh my gosh!
They didn't have the Bible. No. Listen to me. They didn't have the Bible over there, and you're telling me God created the slavery.
I'm going to ask you about another person, and I'm going to assume that you don't know who they were. Do you know who Jefferson Davis was?
I don't know who that was.
Jefferson Davis was, again, and your education is highly lacking.
That's fine.
It's not fine
it
because
is fine.
your education is so poor and you vote. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's just the truth of it. Anyways, Jefferson Davis was the president of the Southern Confederacy, and he used the Bible. Said that from Genesis to Revelations, he's going to bring it up right here. God decreed that we have the right to own people as property, as slaves, and treat them however we like. This was a Christian man using the Bible to justify the atrocities of the antebellum South, keeping people as property and mistreating them, which is an absolutely immoral act. I'm sorry, there is no justification that you can give to make this action moral. Nothing, no justification whatsoever. And if you try, you're a lost soul. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine, but I can try. That's my right.
Can you just answer if slavery in the antebellum South was good or not?
Again, like I said, I didn't live back then.
That is so crazy that you just can't answer a question like that. To condemn slavery in the South as this morally upright church going, they taught us to be good folks up in here, can't condemn slavery in the antebellum South. You got to be kidding us, man. You really need to reevaluate what's going on over here. I know you're not. That's why this is absolutely horrifying.
I know it is horrifying to you. It's horrifying to me to listen to you guys' arguments. But I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah. It must be terrifying the way we preach against slavery and the raping of innocent women. God, how horrifying. How scary.
No, you're putting it all out of context. That's what's horrifying.
No, I'm not. I just read the book, and you're
going back into the past
and tell us you're the moral one when you're the one that comes up here and lies about
events.
it.
You're
lying about it. You're not pretending there's these mysteries. I don't know the context. I don't know what's going on here. You're just being dishonest. You're pretending you're confused when you're not.
You're not asking me personally.
You know exactly what's happening here. You told me it didn't say that God makes them eat their kids. I read it to you where they did.
No. You're not asking me
never
personally
even said,
today.
yeah, I was wrong because you're not even honest enough to do that. And I'm really just about done with you.
Okay,
so,
be done with me. I don't mind.
I'm about to be done with you because you're a liar. You're not engaging honestly.
You don't let me finish. You don't let me finish.
You're not actually answering any questions.
I've answered
going
every
on
question that you
diatribes.
had.
We asked you about people as property, and you go off talking about Paul and how slaves look in the eyes of God. You can't even engage honestly with us.
Look, I don't know. This is what I'm telling you. I don't know the context or the historical.
I know that's what I just got done complaining about.
But
you.
Listen,
you keep saying you don't know, but then we read the context to you and the reason, and you somehow still don't know. It's wild as shit.
I know, and I keep having to repeat my answers. But as a Christian,
well, you're not giving answers.
As a Christian, and in fact, if you want to go with the history, Christians. They're the reasons why there's no slavery in this country.
Then how come you don't condemn it?
I do condemn it. Not I don't know what then is. Today, if that was to happen, yeah,
you're a liar,
I do.
Man.
I'm not a liar.
Yeah, you're a liar. He's a fucking liar. Wow. We asked you
Holy
3 times to
Jesus.
condemn it, yes or no, and then all of a sudden, oh, now I condemn it. Now that I figured out that, like,
That guy
man,
is very dangerous, super dangerous, because he is obviously extremely uneducated, obviously, and he
unreal.
votes.
They all do, man. Durango,
Couldn't
I
even.
appreciate you coming up, man. I
Yeah, man.
need
Thank
some
you.
ibuprofen and Tylenol now. Hey, we'll take it. Hey, listen, y'all make sure you're following Durango. He's a content creator too. And
Yeah,
he's running some.
unfortunately, I don't get to go live as often as you do. But I do go, and I like to have heartfelt conversations with people. So,
Well, that's cool, man. Y'all check
anyways,
out my man here. And besides that, it was a pretty decent day. We actually had some good guests. The last guy was a headache, but you know, that was entertaining, I suppose, in a weird, twisted sense that atheists always have.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about,
and
don't you?
yeah. So, hey, by the way, I checked my numbers the other day, and I'm almost to 1K followers. So, hell yeah,
Oh, that's
getting
awesome.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So,
Word up.
anyways, this was fun. I enjoyed getting up and cooking the shit out of that guy with you. He's that guy is
I wish
doesn't
I could
even know
say
who
we
the
cooked
Speaker
him,
of the
man.
House
I don't
is.
think he learned anything.
Yeah, like doesn't even know who the Speaker of the House is. That's like bonkers.
I don't find that one as weird as not knowing who Jefferson Davis was. Like,
Well,
that's,
he seems to
to
not
me,
really care
that's,
about history,
I
so I
guess.
could understand where that. But I mean, if you're more interested in what's going on in current times, then you should know who the Speaker of the House is. He probably doesn't even know who the President of the United States is currently. To be honest with you.
Oh, shit. I don't know about that. Then again, you might not be wrong, but holy shit. Yeah, that'd be a big one there. But yeah, I think I'm going to close shop here. Unfortunately, even though we got several people in the queue. I've been doing it almost 3 hours now, and we'll just call it a successful live here and dip out for the day. We'll go cut the grass or some shit. Durango,
Yeah,
you
I'm
have a
about
good one.
to do that.
All right, guys.
You
MAGA,
too,
fuck
buddy.
MAGA, Trump, slavery, and Christian nationalism. And the horse they rode in on. Not really the horse, though. We like horses.
Amen.
We're not God.
Amen.
We don't hamstring horses just because God rode up on them.
Amen.
Enemies. Anyway, guys, much love, everybody. We'll catch y'all on the morrow. Durango, have a good one, buddy.
You too.
Peace out.